unfucking real, man. It's just unreal. It really is crazy how utterly disgusting these people are. And there's no repercussions. Do you understand? If you hit a Canada goose, I don't think they're called Canadian geese. I think they're called Canada goose. But if you hit one while you're driving, it's a pretty significant ticket. I think you can get arrested. So if you haven't seen the video yet, it's probably not hard to find. I'm not going to show it because it's atrocious. It's fucking atrocious. And I'm sure the people that throw animals into bonfires and shit, they don't care about that. You know? They don't care about things like that. But I think every regular human being, citizen, whatever, I think we do. And I think your average person, when shown that video, would take issue with it, especially the babies. Because you literally have a cop, a state trooper, not just run over a goose. It was two adult geese and two baby geese. Trying to, clearly lost, clearly, in the wrong place in the middle of the highway. And instead of just putting his lights on and then getting out of his car and, scaring them off the highway, like a normal non-psychopath would do, Christopher Weatherly, Trooper Christopher Weatherly, decided to run them over with his vehicle. He only ended up killing two, one adult and one baby. So he backed his car up and then ran over the other two. Now, you have to understand that a person that is capable of doing that is not capable of making rational decisions. And when the goose ends up being a black person who doesn't necessarily want to listen or doesn't want to give ID when they don't have to or anything. I mean, it's Arkansas. You know that this motherfucker is being just as violent, just as disgusting as he was with the geese. It's pretty fucking crazy, actually. But like I said, I wouldn't expect reasonable human responses from a bunch of fucking friar baby killing, throw them in the bonfire type of people. But there should be, a significant outcry. Like I say, if it was us that did exactly what Trooper Weatherly did and was like, look, I was just doing it because I was trying to protect people, right? It wouldn't matter. We'd get arrested in a heartbeat. Yet you clearly can't even spell things you're trying to say, so good luck with that. Like, make sure you spell shit properly when you're talking shit, because it makes you look really stupid when you don't. Then again, I'm sure you're kind of used to that, so looking stupid probably isn't your thing, especially when you walk around looking like a penguin all day and shit. Let's go! And you'll see it on the feed. The same dumb pieces of shit that, that never have anything to say properly at the right time are going to have nothing proper to say here. They don't know how to respond. You know? These pieces of shit don't know how to respond like a normal person would to horrible things because they're not normal people. Even the submarines thing, you know, there's no argument to be had. I've done it numerous times, and I've literally debunked submarines numerous times, and there's nothing that comes back my way. They cry. They definitely cry about what I'm saying, but they can't debunk it. Oh yeah, well, I saw one time at a harbor. Oh, okay. That makes sense then. You saw a boat at a harbor. Gotcha. It's the same kind of shit over and over again. Our law enforcement system is so broken because it's them. Don't you notice that the badges are a very, familiar looking star? You don't think you think that's just a coincidence? It's all the same shit. What's up, dude? It's all the same shit. It's the same people telling you you're not allowed to say this, you're not allowed to say that, right? What's your dad's name? Again, like, imagine how inept you have to be like, I'll get him. He's talking about factual shit, and I'm gonna make gay jokes. Like, if literally that's all you have, right? This is what I mean. There is no argument the other way. There's interference. There's crybaby. But there's no argument. There's nothing that can be said against what I'm saying. Just consider that most of these people here are here and mad because I think we should kill pedos. Keep that in mind. Anything that these dumbasses say, remember, they're fucking pedophiles. Like, they're friar pedophiles. And I know, and all friars are pedophiles. Every last one of them. I don't care who they are. I don't care what they say to your face. They're fucking pedophiles. And until people understand that we're dealing with pedophiles and we need to do something about it. I mean, it's all the same things, the same people, the same control schemes, the same trolls. It's all the same system. They're completely inept. And I think it's weird because I say I discovered, I could say it, it's more like I stumbled across something. And most of the things that I stumble across, like act.io and the auto emancipation thing, like that's something that those are things that most people don't. Nick, why didn't you cut the back section of the yard yesterday? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I can see it. Okay, you're gonna keep saying it, but did you? Did you cut back there? You did that though, right?
No.
You did it. You remember doing it. You were cutting in circles.
I thought you meant right here.
You thought I meant right here when I said the back corner.
Yes. Just gonna cut.
Turn it off, Fanny.
He's watching YouTube.
Okay. Oh, look. Sirius is here. Sirius will run away as soon as we start talking about the truth. Right? Let's talk about the truth. Let's talk about easily some of the worst truth possible. Because like it just explains everything, right? So I'm going to read it. You can look it up and read along with me. It's the Mishnah Nida. MISHNAHNIDDAH 5:4. So this is on Sefaria.org, SEFARIA.org. We're gonna look up what it says here. So this is the Hebrew version of it for anybody that wants to deny what's being said stupidly. This is the Hebrew. This is what the Talmud says. Like, this is something that I'd love to hear it explained. I'd love to hear what dumbass IDF admitted baby raper Sirius has to say about this shit. Remember, these friars come in here and say things like, well, if it doesn't hurt the children, what's the problem? Meaning, if they can tell themselves that they're pleasuring the kids or they're not hurting the kids, they can fucking do anything they want. Right? Yeah, I'm 100% sure I can't read Hebrew. I never want to read Hebrew. It's a fake. It's the youngest language on the planet. It's fake as shit and it's ugly. Have you ever heard people speak Hebrew? Like it just sounds as ugly as they are. You know how, like when people speak French, it's like beautiful. It flows. It sounds like poetry. Just whatever they have to say. When it's Hebrew, it's fucking disgusting. Like they're just spitting off. It sounds so disgusting. And again, it matches who they are. So, what I just showed you is the Hebrew version of the Talmud, the Mishnah Nida 5-4. So you guys want to read along. A girl who is 3 years and 1 day old, whose father arranged her betrothal, is betrothed through intercourse, as the halalchic status of intercourse with her is that of intercourse in all halalchic senses. And in a case where the childless husband of a girl 3 years and 1 day old dies, so he's an old man and he happens to die before she's even eligible of getting pregnant. So I don't know. I don't know how young somebody can be and get pregnant if they're abused from the time they're born. Like, it's been shown that abuse in children, stimulates puberty and makes them go into puberty earlier than most people. Right? You're not a good person at all. You're a fucking pedophile. Right? At the end of the day, you're a pedophile. If you support this cult, you're a pedophile. And again, we know that you're an IDF. You've already admitted to being an IDF baby raping, baby killing piece of shit. You've said that you are Orthodox, ultra Orthodox. And the majority of the rape comes out of the ultra Orthodox community, at least according to your sources. The thing is, most people, when they hear this shit, recoil. They have some sort of negative response to it. Whereas you try to fake a negative response, but it sounds canned as shit. And really, all you do is defend it. What's up, Janie? So, I'm talking about the same things, Jane. I hope you don't mind. Because it's fucking huge. In a case where the childless husband of a girl 3 years and 1 day old dies, if his brother, the Yavam, engages in intercourse with her, he acquires her as his wife. If she is married, a man other than her husband is liable for engaging in intercourse with her due to violation of the prohibition against intercourse with a married woman. Not prohibition against raping children. They don't seem to have one against raping children. They don't seem to have any issues with raping children. Right? Come on. Come on, Stooge. Come on. Go see Gabi. Gabi wants to see you. Go see Gabi. Go see Nick. Go. Go see him. Go see him. See, they're awake. They want to see you. You know, again, they violated the commandments because she's a married woman. The 3-year-old is a married woman. Right? Right? And look, I encourage you to look at the comments. Look at how these friars respond to what's being read. They don't respond with surprise. It's not like they've never heard this shit before. They don't know that this is going on. They absolutely know what's happening. And what they consistently say is that you guys shouldn't listen, or that I should just shut up. You should not talk about these types of things. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm literally reading it, and yet they're crying any way they can. Right? Yeah. Yeah, the IDF is protecting America. Yeah, that's how that works. A bunch of fucking pedophiles running around raping people using dogs. How do you train a dog to rape a person? Huh? Like just think about these sick pieces of shit and what they do. But this guy's going to do everything he can to prevent me from reading this because he knows. He doesn't say, "Yeah, read our scriptures. They're beautiful. Yeah. Tell everybody what the Talmud says because it's the most beautiful book in the world and its lessons and its scriptures are holy and yada yada." They don't say anything like that. If anything, they try to distract and change the subject. And in this case, you know, normally if you're talking bad about the IDF, a clown like this is going to come in and be like, you know, that's going to be his excuse. He's going to attack you for talking bad about the IDF. But in this scenario, because they understand the idea that, like, how powerful negativity is. So they realize that I've stumbled across the worst thing. And you can't just distract people with, like, shiny keys. Look, they're not going to pay attention. But if you distract people with really, really bad stuff that's almost as bad as what this thing is, they're more likely to be distracted. And so this guy is trying everything he can to get us to start talking about something else. Human shields, like Israel doesn't put all of its military bases dead smack in the middle of urban areas, of rural areas. The definition of human shields. Like there's not videos of Israelis strapping fucking Palestinians to the front of their vehicle to literally use them as a human shield. Like they are chained up to the front of a vehicle. Pretty fucking crazy. Um, for engaged due to prohibition against intercourse with him. Let me just read that again. If his brother, the Yavam, engages in intercourse with her, he acquires her as his wife. And if she's married, again, a 3-year-old man other than her husband is liable for engaging in intercourse with violation of the prohibition against intercourse with a married woman, not with a child, with a married woman, with someone else's property, basically. You're having sex with my property. And it's because of their micro penises that they're so protective of that. Even though the majority have micro penises, let's just say you have a tiny penis. Well, a tiny penis to a micro penis is huge, right? So if the girl is raped by someone with a bigger penis than you, you know, they're gonna feel it more. And you can't, you're so insecure as a people, you can't have your woman know what it's like, especially once they're adults. You know, for them, pleasuring the woman it's not a thing. They don't care about pleasuring women, right? Right. These are sick pieces of shit. How they're no longer neutral. Yeah. Schools. This fucker just said, schools and hospitals are no longer neutral and humanitarian if they are used to stage attacks. It's funny how they've been attacking schools and hospitals the whole time under this guise of tunnels or some shit, and yet there's literally no proof of it. After hours and hours, they'll be like, look, we found this room, and underneath the bed there was a couple of rockets. We swear we didn't put them there. You're like, no, dude, you put them there. Tunnel networks and blah, blah, blah. If Hamas was even half as capable as Israel constantly claims, Israel wouldn't exist. You know, fucking A, just build a tunnel and put a nuke down there. Right? I mean, somebody should. I keep waiting every day to wake up to the news that someone has dropped a nuke on Israel. But because there aren't any nukes, it won't happen. You know, don't you think if Iran really wasn't, if it wasn't all just one big show to distract us, why isn't Iran just doing an all-out assault on Israel? Seems like that would be the smartest move. Ouch. Why isn't Iran, Libya, Syria, Iraq, all of these countries, why aren't they saying, hey, we all have the same common enemy. The people of our country absolutely hate these monsters. Let's work together and wipe them off the fucking map. Why aren't they doing that? Because it's all fake. It's all fake. From Iran to any whatever. It's all just fake bullshit. Obviously the death and all that shit is real, but the idea of one versus another of that kind of shit, it's all fake. Right? It's all distraction to keep us from paying attention to data centers, to keep us from paying attention to this shit. Understand that people, like, if I know about it, it's because people are waking up. And whether it's my efforts trying to expose this or it's other people's efforts trying to expose it, people are waking up all over the place to how sick these pieces of shit are. And like I say, they're willing to, they know that they can't distract with good things. They can't just be like, oh yeah, look at all the good that Israel brings. Why is everybody focused on the bad stuff? Israel does so much good for the world. Yeah, they can't say that. So what do? They hide behind negative. And in this situation, as negative as genocide is, we've been programmed for years through them, through their TV, through their media, through their movies and all that shit, that the brown people over there, one, they're all Muslims, and two, they're all bad. They scream death to America and shit. None of it's true. Just like the 72 virgins thing isn't true. Just like suicide bombers aren't real. It's all just fake fucking, it's all Israeli propaganda. It's all Friar propaganda. Seriously, why isn't there a single intelligent Israeli, LOL, that actually comes in and tries to debunk what I'm saying? Why do they just cry and make shit up and all that? Why don't they just debunk what I'm saying? It seems like I'm wrong, right? I'm going against the majority, so if I'm wrong, why don't they just say, dude, you're wrong about this because of this? Because they can't. But that's just the point, is they know how bad this is. They know that this is sort of the straw that breaks the camel's back. This is the thing that if everybody knows about this, they're not just going to be like, yeah, it's okay, whatever, we'll turn a blind eye, like we do with genocide, because we've been programmed with it. And they know that at the point where this shit starts coming out, well, don't worry, we can always distract them with genocide, with world war, with scary shit. It's World War III. What's going to happen to you? This could happen to you. They're going to come after you. Your children, your blah, blah. Like, that's how they distract, right? Tell that to the Europeans who live among them. Who? What? What are you talking about? Dude, why don't you become a professor at Harvard? What a dumbass thing to say. It's just so interesting how stupid they are. But this is why. Imagine, like, first of all, they're pulled out of school at like 11, 12 years old to go into the Mishnah, or into the yeshiva. Right? That's why when you're in high school and shit, you don't really go to school with too many of them. But you might see a bunch in elementary school and in middle school. Because they get pulled out. And they're like, seriously, I encourage you to watch that show, My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding. Not because the wedding shit's stupid, right? But it's a great example of what happens when you pull kids out of school and then isolate them in a very, I mean, the entire community was pulled out of school. The entire community is really, really dumb. And they use religion to justify everything. And the gypsy thing, like, the girls are basically prisoners. Forced into marriage at 15, 16. And by forced, they're manipulated into it. They all think that by 18, 19, 20, you're way too old. Nobody's going to want you at 18, 19, or 20. So they this whole manipulation. There was one episode where the girl was like, well, I'm property of my daddy, and then after tonight, I'll be his property. He. Talking about after the marriage. Because the wedding day is their most important day of their lives. And they spend $20, $30, $40, $50,000 on the wedding instead of, buying a nice caravan. But, it's groups like that are just sort of distractions. This is these are the buffers. But my point being, when you pull people when you pull an entire community out of school at a young age, like, watch any interview you can find with, like, what's his name? Tyler O'Hara, or anybody else that goes to a Hasidic neighborhood, Lake or Curious Joel or whatever. Go watch the responses they get. Nobody that they interview sounds intelligent. The majority of them put their arms down, put their heads down, like they don't even know how to run. They look like they're falling when they're running because they put their heads down, their arms down, and they just sort of fall where their big old heads take them. But you never see one of them go, yeah, I'd love to hear what you, let's engage. Let's talk about this. I think you have some misconceptions about what we believe, so let me help you understand. Let me help everyone that's watching this understand. These guys are fucking gross, man. If they have their own schools, THEIR, own schools here, they do not want to integrate. Well, in places like Lakewood, because of how they operate, so what they do is if they can get, all they got to do is buy one house. If they buy one house in a neighborhood, it's like setting a trap. It's like releasing the cancer. Because the way they look at things, anyone's home can be a synagogue. So once the home is established, now, like out of nowhere, first of all, like 4 or 5 families are going to move into the home. And then you're going to have a consistent supply of the streets are going to be filled with people who can't drive, who park like they're assholes, who spit on things, who trample on things, who don't respect anything. And they make the neighborhood a hell for anybody else that's living there. And once you realize just how shitty this is, they then send somebody knocking on your door. It says, hey, if you can move out in a month, we'll give you 3 times the value of your house cash. And anybody that wouldn't take that deal is fucking stupid. Especially considering it's just going to keep getting worse. And so they start moving into the neighborhoods and taking over the neighborhoods. And again, they have this unlimited supply of money. How do you compete with somebody that can offer someone else 3 times the amount of their house, the value of their house? And where do these people get this money? They don't work. They go to the yeshiva all day. And they have 15, 18, 20 kids. Who's paying for it all? You're not supposed to be asking that question. And if you see somebody like Tyler Oliveira roll into the neighborhood and start asking people these questions, they don't explain it. Oh, I'm in construction. Really? You're in construction? It's a Wednesday at 11:30. Why aren't you at work? I'm in sales. I'm in distribution. They always have some, or they say they're. So now their wife is giving birth every year or every 2 and also working and also you can go study the yeshiva all day. And again, be as dumb as possible. Like I'm still waiting to see that intelligent friar. I haven't seen Rabbi Shmuley make a reasonable argument in any sort of debate ever. Rabbi Shmuley is a piece of shit, and his parents fall into this same category. His mom was 12 or 13 when she started having babies, probably 13, by his dad, who he admits is 10 years older than his mom. That she could be much older, or he could be much older, but he admits that he's at least 10 years older. It's just isolated events, poor policing, and grand. That's what it is. It's not what it is. It's what this dumb friar has to say. Like, at the end of the day, he's acknowledged that he's a friar. And friar rhymes with liar. So we know that nothing he says can be trusted because he's a lying piece of shit, pedophile, baby rapist, baby killer. Like he's just a piece of shit. Why anybody would even engage with him is beyond me. The only reason I allow him to still be here, because I am God to him and I allow him to be here, is to keep him out. You know, if I can tie him up, if I can keep him busy for a couple of hours every day, that's less time than he can violate children. If I didn't think he'd be out violating children or hunting the web or trading in fucking child exploitation materials or whatever it is, if I didn't think I was preventing that from happening for a couple of hours, I'd just block him, and then what would he do other than make a fake profile? Anglophobic is definitely a thing. Sure it is. It's just so stupid. Again, a whole bunch of shit to distract you. All created by them. Understand that the idea of a friar national identity wasn't a thing. These people that supposedly, all they want is the homeland to be left alone and to be God's chosen people and yada. The idea of Israel wasn't a thing until the middle of the 1800s, late 1800s. So for 1800 plus years, at least according to the narrative we're given, they didn't care. You'd think they would have been trying to make their way back to the homeland. Nope, they didn't care. It wasn't until the Red Shields got involved and this whole idea of national identity and friar homeland and all this other started to take off. They created it. And of course, it's easy to create something like that when you're like, look, we're superior. It's like it's literally the same thing that the Nazis supposedly did. You know, Hitler with his Aryan race, like that whole propaganda narrative we're given, which isn't true. Hitler wasn't trying to create the master race and all blonde hair, blue eye. Hitler had brown hair and brown eyes. Why would he want blonde hair and blue eyes? That's fucking stupid, right? But they have the prohibition against intercourse with a married woman, even though she's a 3-year-old child. Like you always see dumb Christians talking about Muhammad. His wife was 6 years old when he married her, and they don't know, 9 years old when they consummated. And trust me, it's horrible. Like it's not splitting hairs here. It's horrible. But it pales in comparison to the notion that like Muhammad is a fake character who they you know, it affects things, but Muhammad's fake. This shit is for your average everyday friar. The average everyday friar follows this shit. And especially in neighborhoods like Lakewood and Curious Joel, where they live by Talmudic law. Like this is really horrendous, right? This is horrendous. You know, Muhammad is one person. This shit is everybody. This is what all of the women, all the females are subjected to. You know, this is a nightmare. And if anything, why isn't this known? If it's no big deal, why is it so hidden? And if she is impure due to menstruation, you know, at 3 years old, she imparts impurity to one who engages in intercourse with her who then renders impure all the layers of bedding beneath him, rendering, I don't give a fuck about the bedding part. If she marries a priest, she may partake of teruma like any other wife of a priest. If she is unmarried and one of the men who are unfit for priesthood, engage in intercourse with her, he disqualifies her from marrying into the priesthood, and she is the daughter of a priest. She is disqualified from partaking in teruma. Again, if they're different, why are their higher ups called the same thing? Like if I was to create my own thing, the last thing I would do would be call people priests. Oh, these are priests in our thing. You would separate yourself from the other thing if you were opposed to the thing. This is just more proof that all three Abrahamic religions fall under the same category, right? Your piece of shit God is your Hashit God, Yahweh. These are piece of shit, childish, fucking, monster characters. And of course, just like the friars, their gods have no problem raping children. And you see it again. Look at how fucked up these people are, right? Right? Look at how fucked up this shit is. Instead of actually engaging in what this is, he's going, just follow God. God is the answer. Just follow God. God. That's all he can say. How is he going to make this sound okay? How do you make any of this sound okay? Finally, if one of all of those with whom relations are forbidden, as stated in the Torah, e.g., her father or her husband's father, engaged in intercourse with her, they are executed by the court for engaging in intercourse with her, and she is exempt because she is a minor. So the only people that aren't allowed to rape a child is her father or her husband's father. Anybody else does it, as long as she's not already claimed by one friar, it's okay. And if that friar that claimed her dies, his brother is now required to acquire her as his wife. He's now to have intercourse with her and acquire her as his wife. Do you understand how insane this is? Do you not understand how fucking insane this is? Yeah, you're going to watch me on mute because you like the way I look so much. This is the second time you've made this statement, and yet you still respond to things like a dumbass. So clearly you're not watching on mute. Right? Look at how fucking dumb this is. And think about it. Like, I just want to watch you. I don't want to hear what you have to say because it's scary and it talks bad about us. But I just like looking at you so much. Fucking weirdo, man. This is the real part here. If the girl is less than that age, younger than 3 years and 1 day, the status of intercourse with her is not that of intercourse in all halachic senses. Rather, it is like placing a finger in the eye. Just as in that case, the eye constricts, sheds tears, then returns to its normal state. So too, in a girl younger than 3 years and 1 day, the hymen returns to its original state. That's what the fuck these sick fucking friars think. This is all over Israel. Only pedos support Israel. Piece of shit pedos who need to die. Every fucking pedophile needs to die. Needs to be killed viciously and violently. Because they are pedophiles. They have no scruples. There's nothing good about them. I've already addressed this. That's what he says. Instead of defending his shit, he's like, oh, I did it before. Right? Guy is just taking certain passages out of context. Really? What am I taking out of context? Put it in context. Make it sound intelligent. Make it sound like it's okay. Why does your thing not specifically forbid raping children and instead encourage it? There's literally no penalty for raping a child. It doesn't matter if they're 3 years or not. If they're less than 3 years old, I'm assuming because of the micro penis, you assume, you just say nothing happened. Right? Like, this is as insane as it gets. He's just taking passages out of context. I know if I wrote a thing that was to guide people and let people know, you would be able to read each individual part without having read any of the other parts, and not any part of it is going to make it seem like pedophilia is okay. Like, nothing. There's not going to be any misconstruing. There's not going to be any, oh, you just took that out of context. You can't. If you specifically forbid raping children, then there's no confusion, is there? But when you say that the betrothal to the 3-year-old takes place through intercourse, and that if the person that does that dies, then their brother acquires the girl through intercourse, I really don't understand what's there to misconstrue here. Genocide is bad. Yep, see, now we're going to start talking about other stuff because that's all they can do, right? Again, why is somebody here trying to get other people to not listen to what I'm saying? If they don't like what I'm doing, they could just leave. But instead, like, how many of you do that? How many of you go on live feeds and then try to get people to stop listening to that live feed? Especially day after day after day after day after day after day after day. Does that even sound like normal behavior? Right? This is just insane how disgusting these people are. You know? And of course, instead of talking about how bad this is and saying, yeah, you know, as friars, we need to eliminate this shit because it's disgusting and it makes us look like the monsters we are, they say shit like, oh, you're taking it out of context, and let's talk about genocide, and what about this, and what about that? Anything but just doing the normal response, because he can't. He doesn't know how to respond normally. He probably has a fucking wife that he's owned since she was 3 years old. This is what they do. How is somebody that partakes in this disgusting shit gonna sit here and make it sound convincing that they don't like it? Right? Like, it's just crazy how utterly disgusting these pieces of shit are. Here, let me keep taking things out of context, because that's what I'm doing, right? The hymen returns to its original state. Yeah, that could mean multiple things, right? There's multiple things that the hymen returns to its original state could mean. I'm just taking it out of context because I'm just a big duty head. Duty head. You know, if I could figure out a way to broadcast this to the entire world, I would. But of course, they censor the shit out of me for this reason. You don't hear Ian Carroll talking about this. You don't hear fucking Stu Peters and all that shit literally reading to you what it says. Nick Fuentes and all these other pieces of shit. These Esther projects. Right? Think about how sick these are. Listen to this. In the case of a boy, 9 years and 1 day old, whose brother had died childless, who engaged in intercourse with his Yivama, his brother's widow, the little girl. The status of the intercourse is that of halal intercourse, and he acquires her as his wife, but he cannot give her a bill of divorce if he chooses to end the marriage until he reaches majority. And from what I can tell from this shit, you'll hear it later. So, with women, with females, they compare females to a fig tree. In that there's the unripened fig tree, then there's the almost ripe fig tree, the ripening fig tree, and then there's the ripened fig. There's the childhood setting, which again, it doesn't seem like they respect very much, but childhood up until they grow 2 pubes. And again, who's checking this? Like, it's just crazy, but there's only a 6-month period where from the time they grow their first 2 pubes till they're considered a full-fledged adult woman in the respect of, in the state, like, in that they can be fucked. They don't actually have any rights as women. They can't drive, they can't vote, none of that shit. But none of it's real. Nothing I'm saying is real, right? I'm just reading to you what the Mishnah Nida says according to, every outlet. You can read this over and over again. But the only way they can argue this is to be like, he's lying. So they're basically being blasphemous here, right? It's funny to think that you can get these dumb friars to become blasphemous. Because he's sitting here pretending like I am, what I'm saying isn't true. This is what their shit says. Why are you denying what your shit says? That seems pretty blasphemous to me. Right? They are, they're so stupid they'll speak against their own thing. Like, it's weird how none of them are proud, right? None of them are proud of what they believe in and say, fuck yeah, this is what we believe. So what? What's wrong with it? We believe we're right. We're righteous. God said it's okay, yada, 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 right? It's actually leaves, smart guy. Oh, look. The fake rabbi character who said raping children is an act of God is now here. Let's see what he has to say about this stuff. You know what? I just want to read it again. Just because it's so fucking insane. Let's read it again. A girl who is 3 years and 1 day old, whose father arranged her betrothal, is betrothed through intercourse, as the halalchic status of intercourse with her is that of intercourse in all halalchic senses. And in a case where the childless husband of a girl 3 years and 1 day old dies, if his brother, the Yavam, engages in intercourse with her, he acquires her, because she's property. Which part am I lying about? By all means, tell me what I'm lying about. See, this is what I mean. The fake rabbi doesn't come through proudly and says, yes, that's what we believe. Now he's apparently denying what the Talmud says. No, you did say that. We have pictures of it. When I asked you, what about what the Talmud says about raping children? You said it's not rape, it's an act of God. But you're a fucking lying piece of shit, so we know that you're not to be trusted or believed in anything you say. I said our rituals are ordained by God. See what I mean? He thinks he just said something different. No, you said an act of God specifically. It was an act of God. I actually used it as my thumbnail a couple of days ago, but you were too cowardly to come in that day. I was saying the texts aren't about rape. See what I mean? They don't know how to respond. This guy is trying to dig out of this hole by saying the same shit. you know. I mean, and this is again, this is what I was trying to tell you the other day. That they're so stupid, they're so inbred stupid, that they come in and tell you, look, it's not sexual anything, right? This isn't sexual abuse. We're following the rituals that are ordained, that are in our scripture. We're following scripture. Raping children is following scripture according to them. Again, a girl who is 3 years and 1 day old, whose father arranged her betrothal, is betrothed through intercourse. Are we trying to say that intercourse means something different here? Right? There is no God, so it doesn't really matter. As the halachic status of intercourse with her is that of intercourse in all halachic sentences. And in a case where the childless husband of a girl 3 years and 1 day old dies, if his brother, the Yavam, engages in intercourse with her, he acquires her as his wife. And if she is married, if she is claimed, if she belongs to somebody, a man other than her husband is liable for engaging in intercourse with her due to violation of the prohibition against intercourse with a married woman, not with a child. It's because she's somebody else's property that it becomes a problem. Please, come on, let's talk about how I'm lying. Come on, let's talk about how I'm lying. Look at Sirius trying to talk about anything else. Anything else? Oh, yep, I need medical attention because I'm reading what it says. I need medical attention. Why don't you waste your resources and call the cops like you always do? Wasn't I supposed to get arrested? Didn't you say I was going to get arrested for threatening your life because I said we should kill pedos and you identify as a pedo? And if it is impure, if she is impure due to menstruation, because 3-year-olds can have menstruation, apparently. It imparts impurity, blah, 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 blah. This is all about how, the impurity leaks through all the different layers of bedding. That's what this whole next section is about. And then it says, if she marries a priest, she may partake in teruma like any other wife of a priest. Again, a 3-year-old? What is a 3-year-old? Do you know what a 3-year-old looks like? Do you know what a 5-year-old looks like? The mentality of these little tiny creatures, they have no idea what the fuck is going on. They have no concept of God, of religion, of earth, of any of it. They live in a very, very small, isolated world, as 3-year-olds in general. But these cults, back then only adults could get period. Yeah, what are you even talking about? It's literally saying we're talking about 3-year-old girls. I understand that you're inbred and stupid and you have a really hard time following what's being said here, but Talmud wasn't about kids, it was about grown women. A girl who is 3 years and 1 day old, whose father arranged her betrothal, is betrothed through intercourse, as the halachic sense of intercourse with her is that of intercourse in all halachic senses. So now we're saying that 3-year-olds are adults? Oh, it's very easy. You're a piece of shit pedophile. Fuck, you need to die. You absolutely need to die. If there's a God, it would take you. To protect everyone else, it would take monsters like you off the books. Right? The source of this is the Mishnah Nida. You're going to say the Mishnah Nida isn't accurate? Like, you're desperately trying to say shit, but at no point are you saying, man, that's really fucking awful. We need to do something about that. I can't believe we live in a society where this is the norm. And like, you're not saying anything like that. You're just desperately trying to find some, not now I need medical attention again. Because I'm reading you what the Mishnah Nida says. Oh, look, we have another fake rabbi here. Why do we have so many fake rabbis? I'm like Godzilla in this bitch. If the brother of the Yavam, and in the case where the childless husband of the girl 3 years and 1 day old dies, if his brother, the Yavam, engages in intercourse with her, he acquires her as his wife. What are we missing here? What am I not understanding? This guy is saying, it's talking about adults. The Talmud's talking about adults. If we were ultra orthodox, we wouldn't be using the internet on the Sabbath. Well, yeah, you would. Because you're fucking stupid. Like, of course. Right? Like that's checkmate. That's what you're addressing here. You're the one that said you were ultra orthodox. I don't give a fuck what little fucking denomination of the cult you are. All cult members are pieces of shit. So whatever exemptions you give yourself or however this works, you're just a piece of shit. And you see, like, they're not responding as normal people would. They're not responding from a sense of surprise. I can't believe this is what's happening. I can't believe this is what it says. I've never heard this shit before. I had no idea. I'm disgusted that I belong to something so disgusting. Nothing like that. They just keep lying and coming up with dumb shit. You don't matter enough. You're here because I allow you to be here and provide the example. That's it. You're here because I allow you to be. This dumb Goyim has so much power over you. You sit here, you think about me night and day. If I go live at any time throughout the day, you're one of the first ones here crying about what I'm saying, desperately trying to get my attention. Yeah, I'm fucking God to you. Let's talk about the hundreds of thousands of pedos in the U.S. Why? Why do you want me to change the subject? I really never understand that. Why do people come here and want me to talk about other things? No. Whatever thing you want me to talk about, there's somebody else talking about it. So why not just go watch that other person talk about it? Why do you want me to talk about it so much that I changed my subject and talk about something different? Who the fuck would say that? Other than pedos, who wants to change the subject? But look at all these blasphemous fucking friars on here. They're clearly not proud to be friars. They're clearly proud to be Jews. No, you're not. If you were proud, you would engage this. You would embrace this. You would say, yeah, that's what we do, but, fuck you. I don't care what you say, dumb Goyim. That kind of shit. Instead, you're getting all blasphemous and denying what your Talmud says. What the Mishnah Nida says. Right? These blasphemous fucking friars. Oh, just a bit outside. Imagine if you did that in like your real car, dude. Your shit would just be blown to bits. Crack the block and shit. Why don't they just make RC cars into regular cars, man? So we're going to skip ahead a minute. And again, I have to ask you, Christians, Why do the Christians, the Muslims, and the friars all refer to their holy men by the same names? Why are they all considered priests? If it's something different, can you do a full 360? That was sweet. If the girl is less than 3 years and 1 day old, the state of intercourse with her is not of that of intercourse in all halachic senses. Rather, because it doesn't, if she's less than 3 years and 1 day old and she gets raped, she doesn't automatically belong to the rapist. Right? That's what they're saying here. She doesn't immediately belong to the rapist. Rather, it is like placing a finger into the eye. Just as in that case, the eye constricts, sheds tears, then returns to its original state. So too, in a girl younger than 3 years and 1 day, the hymen returns to its original state. Right? Look at how fucking disgusting these people are. Not one of them thinks this is a problem. Not one of them takes any issue with this. They all think it's okay. And they keep trying to, well, they think it's okay, but they don't embrace it. They get all blasphemous and pretend like this isn't what their thing says. Why are they pretending this isn't what their thing says? I don't need your forgiveness. And again, you keep suggesting I have these misconceptions. What am I getting wrong here? Isn't it interesting how you just keep fucking schmoolieing things, but you won't actually address anything? Why don't you tell us why all of this is okay? Yep. I'm surprised piece of shit Joe isn't here yet. Because Joel's the one that says as long as the children aren't being hurt, he doesn't understand the problem. Basically, he tells himself that he's pleasuring the children, and by telling himself that, that absolves him of feeling bad because it doesn't hurt the children. Israeli settlers, pedophiles from the U.S. law. Yeah, for sure. I'm God to each and every one of you. What are you talking about? First of all, I thought you were listening on mute. See, you've already just caught yourself up in a lie, and I knew you would. That's, again, why your God allows you to be here. Right? You are valuable to me. All of you are extremely valuable to me, and that I know you're never going to say anything that, you know, stumbles me or debunks anything I'm saying. And more than anything, you're going to provide a fantastic example for why we need to eliminate your fucking cult. Not rework it, not, you know, we need to eliminate it. Wipe it off the face of the earth. Yeah, oh, we have Jerry the Friar here. Jerry, are you going to explain to us why it's okay that a girl who is 3 years and 1 day old, whose father arranged her betrothal, is betrothed through intercourse? As the halachic status of intercourse with her is that of all intercourse, of intercourse in all halachic senses. And in a case where the childless husband of a girl 3 years and 1 day old dies, if his brother, the Yavam, engages in intercourse with her, he acquires her as his wife. And if she is married, 3 years old and married, a man other than her husband is liable for engaging in intercourse with her due to the violation of the prohibition against intercourse with a married woman, not with a child, but with a married woman. Are you going to explain any of that to us? Or how about the part where it says if the girl is less than 3 years and 1 day old, the status of the intercourse with her is not that of intercourse in all halachic senses. Rather, it is like placing a finger into the eye. Just as in that case, the eye constricts, sheds tears, and then returns to its original state. So too, in a girl younger than 3 years and 1 day, the hymen returns to its original state. You're saying I'm wrong. So you're saying the Talmud is wrong? Is that what you're saying? Are you being blasphemous right now and saying the Talmud has it wrong? Which part am I wrong about there, Jerry, the piece of shit pedo friar? How old was your wife when you claimed her? Was she 3? Did you wait till she was 5, 6? How did you do it? What the hell was that? Did it just start making a weird noise, or was that me?
No, that was me. I mean, it was the car, but that was just partial throttle.
Oh. Come on, Jerry the dumbass. Tell me what I'm wrong about. Everybody here is waiting for one of you to be able to fucking express that. Instead, you just keep being blasphemous and speaking against your Talmud. Why are you guys so against your Talmud? Right? Come on, Jerry the friar. Let's hear it. I know you're going to get mad. I'm so mad at you for saying these things. In the case of a boy, 9 years old, 9 years and 1 day old, whose brother had died childless, so older or younger doesn't matter. If they haven't had a child yet, which again, she's 3, she's 4, she's 5 years old, she's not having children yet. If for some reason he dies, now it's whose brother had died childless, who engaged in intercourse with his Yavana, his brother's widow. The status of the intercourse is that of halalchic intercourse, and he acquires her as his wife. Right? But he cannot give her a bill of divorce if he chooses to end the marriage until he reaches majority. Becomes ritually impure, blah, 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 blah. Disqualified. Listen to this one. And if he engages in bestiality, he disqualifies the animal from being sacrificed upon the altar, and the animal is stoned due to his act. If he fucks the animal gets killed. Stoned to death. Huh? Oh, look. Sirius just fucking, he broke down. The friars are good people because they follow God and protect kids from violence. I'm telling you, I'm so glad that they keep saying shit like this. Because it goes to show you that, like, it's like, you know, in the communities where, you know, the Muslim communities, you'll see it every once in a while where, like, a woman will get strung up in the center of town and then beaten with a 2x4 or some shit. And you wonder why nobody stops that. It's because of the community that they were raised in. They don't think it's wrong. They actually think it's the right thing to do. He is appeasing God by doing that. You know, stoning your children and all that shit. Nobody thinks it's wrong. They think the child is wrong because the child did what it did to get stoned. And in this case, just like with the metzitzia, and the one piece of shit was like, don't you understand that the metzitzia is the only way for the friar boys to get their covenant with Abraham? Yeah, I do. I understand that you don't see it as a violation in a sexual sense. You see it as following what your fucking book says. You're doing your religious commandments. Like how Christians pretend to eat a dead body and drink blood. And in any other case, they would think that shit's wrong. But in this particular case, they're like, yeah, give me the fucking blood. I love it. Give me the dead body. They don't think it, because that's what their community, that's what everybody around them has said. That's what they think is normal. So when it comes to the raping of children, they don't think of it as wrong. They're doing what they have to do. They're following the scriptures. If you don't rape the children, you're wrong. That's the way they see it. And I'm so glad that they're they're dumb enough to keep proving it. Yeah, my family's proud as fuck of me. Yep. My kids are proud of their dad. Because, my kids aren't pedophiles. What religion is this? This is the friars. This is the Mishnah Nida. This is the Talmud. It literally, it has a section. They fuck animals so often that it's put into their book. And again, in the book that never ever says that female children are off limits. At no age are females off limits. They're fucking animals so much that they had to put a little section in. And again, it's not about the animal is in the wrong. Or, I mean, the friar's in the wrong. The animal is in the wrong. The animal is to be stoned. Pedophile religion, yep. Straw man and ad hominem. Again, what are you saying? Friarism is a good religion which protects the modesty of men, women, and children. Yeah, the modesty. Raping little girls at 3 years old and then them becoming property of an adult man that's how, see what I mean? Like, he's not lying right now. He truly believes that this is the requirement. They are required to do this because in doing so, they protect the children. They protect the virtue. They protect this. That's literally what they believe. And that's why I allow them to be here like I do, because I know they're just going to keep proving the point. Right? There's no accountability to be had on their end. That's the thing. That's what you have to understand, Janie. It's so hard for us to wrap our heads around it because it's just what we do. But think about it like this. In our society, we literally grow animals. Animals that all of us, when they're young, we go, oh my God, look at the little chicken. Oh, look at the little cow. Oh, look at the little piggy running around. Wink, wink, wink. Look at that. We think they're adorable. And then we eat them. And we think nothing of it because it's just the way it is. Right? You don't, where everybody around you will look at you as you're weird if you don't eat meat. You don't even think about the fact that you're like this giant sarcophagus full of this old dead meat. And it's because it's been so deeply programmed into you that you don't find flaw in it. And that's literally what they keep proving to you. They can't have accountability for something they don't believe they're doing that's wrong, that they actually believe makes them righteous. They are protecting the children from Yahweh's wrath or some shit by raping them. By putting them under their wing, by putting them in their covenant, they are protecting them. They are protecting the little boys by sucking on their fucking bloody baby penises. This is their mentality. It's like they're doing those children favors. And shit, if it makes them feel good in the process, what's wrong? You as an adult, you've had your penis sucked on before, right? That feels good, right? Well, why wouldn't it feel good to the children too? That's their fucking logic. Right? These people are fucking disgusting. Right, why do you think they censor me so much, Janie? You think it took until 2028 or 2026 with some random guy on YouTube to finally figure this out? Is that? No. They censor me because of how dangerous I am. Because I can't explain things in ways that, and I'm looking. You know, if they weren't worried about me, they wouldn't censor my feed. They wouldn't stop it. If they knew that they could send enough friars to convince people that I'm crazy, they would. They just let it alone. They'd use me as an example. But they know they're not smart enough. That inbreeding has them dumb as fuck. Right? You know, we all know what inbreeding does, right? We all know that inbreeding like distorts the genes, distorts the whole thing. It makes extremely compromised children and people. Well, imagine when you have an entire culture that has generation after generation of inbred monsters in it. Hi, little scatties. Hi, my scatty.
He doesn't need to go potty.
Oh, no, he just needs some snuggles. He just needs
I
some
birthed him.
snuggles. You birthed him?
Yeah, I birthed him. I have him. You don't want him? Don't give him to Nathan. Don't give him to Nathan. Give him to me.
He needs some loving.
I was gonna come in here and have him run around.
I think he's ready for Nani. I think he's ready for Nani. It's only a discussion. Their DNA becomes confused. We are literally the smartest people on earth and we own the world. No, you own everything because of your ruthlessness, because of your lying, because you've taught the Goy that they have to be honest and righteous people, while you behind the scenes are doing the worst of the worst things. And then telling the Goyim they're not allowed to say it. But the thing is, you're not creative. You're not actually intelligent. You're not smart enough that when Kanye comes out and says, hey, friars are in everybody's contracts and friars make money off of everyone in the industry, you don't say, well, yeah, we've worked very hard to create a system where everybody does have an opportunity to make money and perform and become famous if that's what they can do. And yeah, of course. And all of that fame and fortune, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And yeah, we worked very hard to create something where everybody can be, everybody is included. Everybody is able to take advantage of this. And we're proud of what we've accomplished. That was all they'd have to say. But they're too stupid and say, no, you can't say that. Don't say that. That's anti-Semitism. I'd rather be as dumb and low IQ as I possibly could be, as long as I still think raping children is wrong. But again, notice how the rabbi shitface, fake fucking rabbi character, yet again, never acknowledges that raping children is wrong. They never say anything about it. They don't even engage in it. Which again, it seems weird to me that they're so blasphemous. Why are they so blasphemous? Why are they sitting here pretending like there's scripture to them? Are they denying the scripture? Like what? Embarrassed by? I mean, they should be, no doubt. But they act all high and mighty, but then when it comes down to it, they just have nothing to say. Nothing good comes out of Israel. Somebody tell me the last time something that benefited the entire planet came out of Israel. And considering they get more money given to them per capita than anyone else, $3.8 billion a year from the United States alone, and that's 3,800,000,000. That, once it transfers into shekels, becomes about 15 billion shekels each year. And that's just us. Canada gives them $2 billion. Australia gives them $1.2 billion. I don't know what everybody else gives them, but They get so much money given to them. They should be fixing all of the world's problems. Instead, we're paying for them to go on their pilgrimages and travel the world and stay in the nicest places and do, first class everything. Oh, look, we have another admitted pedophile. I mean, anybody that supports Trump is admitting to you that they're a pedophile. You can't support Trump. And, I mean, only pedophiles support pedophiles, right? Like, nobody with a fucking any decency whatsoever supports somebody that's associated with pedophilia. And yet, you guys support pedophiles. Or support a pedophile. It just says everything about you. And it's just like this whole thing. Says everything people need to know about these piece of shit friars. The animal is stoned. With regard to a girl who is 11 years old and one day, her vows are examined to ascertain whether she is aware of the meaning of her vow and in whose name she vowed. Like, again, we're talking about an 11-year-old. An 11-year-old? Seriously? Once she is 12 years old and one day and has grown 2 pubic hairs, which is a sign of adulthood, even without examination, blah, 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 blah. So the idea that these children are constantly being checked for their 2 pubic hairs tells you everything you need to know. Oh, look. The fake rabbi is trying to get us to look at Japan and North Korea, South Korea, everything we can except for the pedophile foundations of their thing. That again, they can't deny. They don't know how to. That would be like Christians denying, so suddenly being like, well, we're not going to fake drink blood and eat dead body anymore. It's such a part of their thing. To them, it's no different than tithing, than praying, than, Again, this is how they operate. They have to do these things. And you have these dumbasses that keep coming in here and letting you know. It's exactly that. The only way that little boys can have their covenant with Abraham is through metzitzia. Metzitzia is required. So when they say, oh, that doesn't happen as much as you think it does, it does. It happens at almost each and every bris. That's why they have it. It's what it's all about. And then the family members sit around and watch an adult that they've hired to come in and violate their child, and then they're happy about it. That's how sick they are. They're shaking the... The youngest, ugliest language on earth. You realize Hebrew was invented in the late 1800s, early 1900s? Good morning. Invented by a guy named Eliezer Ben Yehuda. They say it was revived, but why would you need to revive something that was supposedly already there? I mean, they say that Eliezer Ben Yehuda had grown up studying Hebrew. Well, if they're speaking it and it's used in all of these different contexts, then what revival are you even talking about? Well, he made the first Hebrew dictionary. So you're saying that in the entire history of Hebrew, the oldest religion, nobody ever thought to make a dictionary until 1903? If you want somebody else to talk about something else, then go there. I don't know anybody else that has 11 viewers and 11 likes, 2,600 plus subscribers. I don't know anybody that comes close to my numbers. But again, if you're a dumb female that thinks we shouldn't be talking about these things, makes me wonder who you are. Well, sort of tells me who you are. This is all about vows and shit. 11 years old one day, a girl, 12 years old one. Even it said the vows, their consecrations, blah, blah, blah. It's dumb. The sages stated a parable or a parable based on the development of the fruit of a fig tree with regard to the 3 stages of development in a woman: minority, young womanhood, and grown womanhood. An unripe fig, a ripening fig, and a ripe fig. An unripe fig represents the stage when she is still a child and has not yet developed the signs of puberty. I mean, again, who is seeing these signs that acknowledge, how does this even work? Are there weekly checks? Are there daily checks? What is going on here? Yep, look at me flexing. Yeah, I'm definitely flexing about this. Gotcha. Now you're switching to, you know what I did with those children. What are you even talking about? Come on, let's elaborate. See how I'm using like redundancy in my definitions, and I'm proving the point over and over and over again with actual proof. Can you do anything close to that, or are you just mad at the guy who thinks we should kill pedos? He's claiming his 11 likes means nobody comes close to him in popularity on YouTube regarding likes and views and subscribers. Again, this is that schmooly intelligence there. Is that what I was saying? Gosh, I had no idea that's what I was saying. I thought I was pointing out the censorship. But hey, the fucking pedophile knows better. Right? Pedophile, fake Rabbi Weber. Funny how he can address comments about the views, but can't seem to address any comments about the fucking Mishnah Nida and what it says about raping children. He doesn't seem to have an issue with that. He said I was wrong, but then never really elaborated on how I'm wrong. But he can elaborate on the views. Gosh, that's pretty telling, don't you think? Turn on all comments so I can debunk you. Yeah, because I have something turned off right now. What a fucking clown. You're going to debunk the Talmud, though. Remember, you're being blasphemous right now. So let us know your blasphemy and how it all works. It's the Democrats. Yeah, because it's the Democrats that are riddling the Epstein files. It's the Democratic president that could absolve himself by releasing said files, but refuses to for some reason. Right? You always harping about the children. Yeah, I am, Rabbi Weber. Yeah, I am harping about the children being raped and destroyed in your community. Funny how you're always trying to get me to stop talking about it. Isn't that weird? Like, you're dumb enough to say that and think, oh, this is going to get him always harping about the children. Yeah, I give a shit. Like I keep saying, the most important thing in the world right now is that we protect the Jewish children over everybody else. I suggest Semitism on the highest levels. We show that the Jewish children, the most policy and predisposition favorable to them as possible. And yet for some reason, some strange reason, all these rabbis and all these fake friar characters, they seem to have an issue with it. They don't agree with me that we should be protecting Jewish children. Yeah. It's what they do to little boys. Yep, because that's what matters. Let's isolate it and say, this rape of children is bad, but all the other rape of children isn't as important. Gotcha. Nobody in my religious community harms children in any way whatsoever, and I don't know what you're getting false information. It's the Mishnah Nida. Are you, well, you're inbred and fucking stupid, so I guess that sort of explains a lot. Oh, funny, this guy joined 2 weeks ago and has no subscribers. I bet that's legitimate. We should trust what he's saying. Right? He's a real person. This isn't act.il. This isn't Team Jorge. This is a real rabbi character who just happened to make his page 2 weeks ago and can't even get a single subscriber. But he's here, and it's funny, he's been here for about 2 weeks. Gee, that's weird. And I guarantee if you looked up his IP, it would be in Tel Aviv or some shit like that. All we do is deny it. Just deny it. Right. You guys live by Talmudic law, except for this one part. With this one part, this bothers the Goyim, so you stop doing it at some point. Right? It's all the same fucking shit, man. They are so goddamn stupid. Literally, this person is basically saying they made this profile specifically to watch and disrupt my feed. They're not anywhere else. You won't find them anywhere else. I must be pretty fucking important for you to do this. You guys are literally from the lower satanic sphere, and we are blah, blah, blah. What are you even fucking talking about? See, now he starts going into fairy tale bullshit. And like, the thing is, you know for a fact that if there was a line of Goyim and a line of friars, the friars would get their shit beat in 100% of the time. You have no physical superiority. You don't even have mental superiority. Clearly, you're not very smart. If you were smart, I wouldn't look as good as I do. You'd be able to say things and present things in ways that were undeniable, like I am, right? And yet, you're just so fucking arrogant and stupid, and you're assigned these. You know, you got to get your points. This is one of the missions. The Guy Williams mission is a hard mission. I hope you're prepared for it. I mean, you would think after all this time, knowing that this is what I talk about, they would send somebody that was at least reasonably intelligent. And I tend to think they're sending their best. It's just they're so inbred and stupid and morally reprehensible and just the whole thing is so bad that there isn't anything that can be done or said, you know, to the contrary. Yep, you own a blah, 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 blah. You're so stupid. Yeah, you're stupid. Again, the only reason you guys are in the position you're in is because of your willingness to kill children, to do things that nobody else is willing to do. You have no scruples about you. You have no moral compass. You'll lie, you'll cheat, you'll steal. You'll do everything you possibly can to maintain your position. You literally think raping children gives you an advantage, so you do it. And because you've been able to you know, you were given the position, whatever the reset thing that happened was, somewhere in the in 1881 is when the first Aliyah takes place. In 1882 is when auto-emancipation is written. And by 1883, Israel was about to fall until Red Shield stepped up and bought everything up and then handed it to the friars. So, you guys are beasts in form, born to serve us day and night. Exactly. Exactly. That is how you see things. And the more that people understand that this is how these friars see things, the more that the more likely their shit is to fall. And that's what's happening. People are waking up to how they see things. The whole 2,800 slaves thing. The way it's presented to you, like they always do the thing where they hide the worst thing behind the really bad thing. So the really bad thing is the idea that we are all bondage chattel slaves to this disgusting pedophile group. Right? But because it's such a ridiculous thought, nobody gives it any real, any real credibility. People will hear it and go, yeah, right. They're not dumb enough to believe they could, one of them could do anything to 2,800 people. 2,800 people would overthrow one slave master in a night, right? How would they even set that up? How would they even facilitate that? And so you think about it and you go, well, that's just fucking stupid. I'm not going to give that much thought. Until you realize that the worst thing, that was the bad thing, the worst thing is that they believe that it's not that we'll be chattel slaves, it's that we will accept and understand that they have spiritual superiority over us, and we will voluntarily, we will be their slaves. We will volunteer to be their slaves. Hold this for a second, please. Thanks. Talk about these friars and how gross they are for just a second.
I just woke up. I don't even.
Doors open. Ass.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Very tired.
You will be cleaning the bathroom today, Mr. Butt, and you will do a good job this time. It will take you much longer than 2 minutes.
Sorry, guys. My brain's blank when I first wake up. Wow, it feels cold outside. It feels cold outside.
It's not. It's nice. It's actually real nice. What's up? What's up, Tulamu? Tula van Stula. Divine law from Hashit. Again, they're proving the point. Right? Even if they didn't agree with it per se, they didn't like what they were doing, they would still do it because it's divine law. It's commanded by their God that they rape children. See how stupid they are? But that's the whole 2,800 slaves thing is basically how we live today. They've succeeded. They haven't succeeded outright in that we're resistant to it. Maybe they have 2,100 slaves each. Because about 700 of us still have a brain to ourselves and shit. But it's basically, get out of there. It's basically what it is. Where they're stealing, $3.8 billion a year from us as a base. They end up with like $12 billion, 13, 15, $20 billion a year from us. With all the other shit that they pull off, it's actually a lot more, but the $3.8 billion is awarded to them in the first fiscal month of a lump sum cash payment. that they can do with what they want. No regulations, no restrictions, nothing. Yep, lies. I mean, look at how bad they are. Can you imagine if I was saying what I'm saying? If I just came on here and was like, the friars are the worst people ever. And they started somehow, naming off good shit that they do. And all I said was lies, lies. It wouldn't work. But this is that inbreeding coming through, right? This is, when you grow up in a school where, it's full of a bunch of people a bunch of little ugly trolls whose mothers told them they were the most handsome of the trolls. And they had no accountability, no responsibility. And if anybody said something they didn't like, especially if it was somebody outside of the circle, that other person got in trouble. They never learned how to navigate these kinds of situations, how to navigate discussions. They truly do have this arrogant perspective that if they say it, they don't even need to provide any sort of, truth or validation or verification for what they say. All they have to do is say it, and we Goyim should just be like, oh, well, shit, the friar said it, so it must be true. Huh? And that's what they're used to. They're used to being able to say, oh, that's anti-Semitic. And somebody going, oh, no, wait, that's not what I'm saying. No, I'm sorry. That's how they've programmed us. That's what they used to, that's what, the funny thing is, because of the internet, they no longer do the month-long history lesson for kids in school, where they're bombarded with Holocaust, Semitism, Holocaust. And so, because they can't, because the last thing they want is a kid to come into class with my video going. Hey, what about what this guy has to say? I reached out to this guy. He seems to know a lot about this. He asked if I could go, if he could bring me into the classroom and if the teacher would engage. So, teacher, will you engage and debunk what he's saying? They can't have that. But because they don't have that month-long history lesson bombarding this in your fucking heads every year, they're also losing that guilt, that Semitism control that they've had. Because the next generation is like, yeah, you're not special. What the fuck are you talking about? If anything, we're watching you be the... This isn't working for us anymore. I mean, look at how desperate and stupid they are. It's just insane. This person literally thinks that saying they've been staring at the screen for an hour on mute, they just like the way I look so much that they're watching me on mute. Like, they're saying that like it's a bad thing. Can you imagine being dumb enough to acknowledge that about yourself and thinking that you're like saying some sort of burn? Right? Look at these dumbasses. Look at how stupid they are. Oh, this is a different... So now we have the Weber, the Rabbi Weber character. This is a different profile that's been active for a month and still has no subscribers. I know, right? So act.il is a social... I don't show my sources. Completely locked. Can't edit this one. Social networking service used by supporters of Israel to oppose, quote, online anti-Israel content such as the Boycott, Divestments, and Sanctions Movement, BDS. Its activities were referred to as, quote, an online propaganda campaign and, quote, a virtual situation room of pro-Israel experts. This is where we really have to pay attention, okay? Act.il directed its users to missions to like, comment on, and share pro-Israel material on social media. It also asked users to flag, report, and respond to criticisms of Israel. Users were guided how to respond, which might entail writing a reply using the provided talking points. Now, I keep telling you, they're not very smart. They can't ad-lib. They can't roll with the punches very well. So there's a reason why they keep trying to bring the conversation back to the genocide stuff. Because that's what they're programmed to respond with. They don't have the program, they don't have all the provided responses for how to deal with someone reading the Mishnah Nida. They don't know how. That's why they just, that's lies. And then they start talking about all kinds of other dumb shit, vaccines and, blah, blah, blah. This guy just said, this is 4 things, good things that they've given to the world. Global Shabbat houses, how does that benefit anyone other than them? Animal welfare programs, right. The animals you have no problem sacrificing. You guys throw into bonfires and stone to death when one of you rapes one of the animals. You stone them because of your animal welfare programs. Charities for Israel, yep, that benefits everyone else so much, doesn't it? And vaccines. I mean, you can't be much dumber than that. But see, the thing is, I'm not going to talk to anybody that's got a month-long, 2-week-old, month-old, 2-week-old page. Sorry, you're a fucking act.io bot and you're not worth the time. Until I get a rabbi that actually has some sort of credibility behind him, you guys are you're just boring. The app also provided users with ready-made memes promoting Israel's perspective for them to share. By completing missions, users earned points, unlocked badges, and had their scores displayed on leaderboards. I don't know what else I can provide you, but back to the Mishnah Nida 5, I'm at 5.7. What the fuck, dude? I don't want this. It's not fine. Dude, what are you talking about? So because you don't feel like putting something away, then we should just deal with it? Well, then what is it? What? Okay, so come grab this and put it away. Hold it right there. Jerry the Fryer. You're just trying to silence our people. I absolutely am. I'm trying to eliminate your cult. 100%. I'm proud of it. Proud of my anti-Semitism to the fullest. Let's see. Oh, shit. Let's see. With regard to a girl, we already did this. The parable of the ripened fig. with 2 pubic hairs. With regard to the periods during both this stage, minority, and during that stage, young womanhood, the sages said that a father is entitled to any lost object that she finds and cannot be returned to its owner, and to her earrings, and to nullifying her vows. What are the signs that indicate grown womanhood? Rabbi Yossi, who gives a fuck, says grown womanhood begins from when her breast grows sufficiently so that a fold appears below the breast. Rabbi Avika says it begins when the breasts sag onto the chest. Ben Azizi says it begins when the areola at the tip of the breast darkens. A different Rabbi Yossi says it begins when the breasts have developed to a size where a person places his hand on the nipple and it depresses and slows to return. What the fuck is wrong with these sick gremlins, man? A girl 12 years and 1 day old who grew 2 pubic hairs is classified as a young woman. 6 months later, she becomes a grown woman. So they're a child basically until they grow 2 pubic hairs. And then 6 months later, they're considered a full woman. And it's 12, right? Because that's when the bat mitzvah takes place, and this is when the exchanging, when the selling of the children takes place. It's been disguised as this big party, but it's not. It's the send-off. Fake news, huh, Jerry? Is it fake? What part's fake? Are you being blasphemous, Jerry? Are you saying the Mishnah Nida is not real? Come on, Jerry, tell me how it's fake. So the rabbis are describing women going through puberty and becoming women able to reproduce with a friar man. You are turning the order of nature into something negative. Yes. See what I mean? You guys see what I mean? Again, I shouldn't have even bothered reading it because it's one of these fake fucking profiles, but do you understand how sick these people are? You know, to them, women are nothing but objects from the time they're born. They don't get circumcised. They don't have the covenant with Abraham, so they don't matter anyway. The only thing women are there for is reproduction. And you know it's not about pleasuring them because the men all have micro penises. I have been proven again. Why don't you just prove it? Like if you've already said it once, you love saying the same shit over and over again. Why don't you prove what I've been false about? I'm still waiting to see this proof. We're not fake profiles. It may seem crazy to you, but we're real and very common. No, you're not. You're fake profiles. Jerry the Friar joined 7 years ago and has no subscribers. That sounds believable, doesn't it? If I'm intimidated, why am I still doing it? And what lies have you debunked? Please give me some examples. You guys are right now telling us that the Mishnah Nida is not a valid book. You're actually blasphemy against your own fucking thing right now. And because none of you are actually proud of what you believe, you just fucking, you keep denying that it's what it says. This is another one of those things where it's like, I've never heard of a woman being 20 years old and not going through puberty. But I don't know women that have been raped since they were born. Right? I don't know what the mentality, I don't know how that affects the body, how that affects things. But apparently in their community, it's so commonplace that just like the bestiality thing, they decided to put it in their book. This is in there too, right? A woman who is 20 years old, who did not grow 2 pubic hairs, and was never classified as a young woman, shall bring proof that she is 20 years old, and from that point forward, she assumes the status of a sexually undeveloped woman, an alanit, who is incapable of bearing children. If she married, blah, blah, blah. This all gets into just the dumb shit. Like, if she marries this guy, then she enters into the levirate marriage and blah, blah. It's all just fucking dumb. It's all just so dumb. For both this case of a woman and that case of a man, they shall bring forth that they are 18 years old and they have the status of sexually undeveloped women and man, respectively. What is that? That's not something that happens in real life. Like, my wife was like, yeah, well, maybe it's like, Andre the Giant syndrome. And it's, yeah, there are plenty of Andre the Giant people out there. They play basketball. The NBA is full of those. We have tons of examples of giant people. I've never heard of anybody that was in their 20s and hadn't gone through puberty yet. Or never done. But apparently, again, it's so commonplace that they included in their book about raping children. That they included in their book about, stoning an animal that one of them has committed bestiality against because it's the animal's fault. Why'd that animal have to look so sexy, huh? And the thing is, when you start, looking at all this shit, all of these things are things that we've been told to hate other people over. Right? Oh, those people from the South are so gross because they rape children. They rape sheep. Right? But even look at what Sacha Baron Cohen, a friar, a Jewish man, his most famous character is him pretending to be the most disgusting, stereotypical Arab character you can imagine. And literally, all he's doing is describing friars having sex with their sister and hi, little guy. Hi there. What you doing? Oh, that's my little buddy. That's my little buddy. See, the friar would think, oh, a kitten, let's throw it in the bonfire. Because that's how sick they are. Yeah. And claim that all friars have intercourse with animals is easily debunked and absolutely disgusting. Yeah, it is absolutely disgusting. I'd love to know how it's easily debunked. I'd love to know how you can debunk that you've had sex with an animal when, considering you live by these rules, you don't think there's anything wrong with having sex with animals. Only thing that's wrong is that the animal was looking too sexy, so it needs to be stoned. The person that does have sex with animals, they're not liable. They're not responsible for anything. Did you need me to read it to you again? Because you're going to lie? Are we going back with lying? Because I don't mind debunking you using, truth and evidence. See, that there's a difference between how I debunk and how you debunk. You debunk by crying and saying, oh, well, that's just not true, and that's supposed to suffice. Personally, I think this is pretty straightforward here. Let's see. And if he engages in bestiality, he disqualifies the animal from being sacrificed upon the altar, and the animal is stoned due to his act. Right? Interesting how sick you guys are. Now you are proving yourself stupid. I have never touched an animal. I like human beings. I know what I like you more. That's not how somebody that is innocent of these things responds. That's not how, you don't even know how to respond to it properly. Right? You think you're responding properly. This is the bag of sand. What's a titty feel like? A bag of sand? Right? They don't know how to actually respond to this shit, so they say dumb shit. Right? If this guy was real, which he's not, he's a fucking profile, he's a bot. But it's saying that he's been raping, he found his wife at a young age. And because it's commanded by God, it's what they do, he doesn't see anything wrong with it. I'm still waiting for them to explain this part to me, right? Please explain to me how a girl who is 3 years and 1 day old, whose father arranged her betrothal, is betrothed through intercourse. As the halalchic status of intercourse with her is that of intercourse in all halalchic senses. And in a case where the childless husband of a girl 3 years and 1 day old dies, which you would think like, because I guess in our heads we just sort of assume that they're marrying children together, but that doesn't make any sense. Now, if the person that's married to the child is 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 years old, and this is just another one of his wives, well, as long as they don't have children, which she's only 3, she can't have children anyway. If he happens to die before she gets to an age, after those 2 pubes and 6 months later, let the dog out! Hurry up! Then you marry the brother. Then the brother has let's read it. And in a case where the childless husband of a girl 3 years and 1 day old dies, if his brother, the Yavam, engages in intercourse with her, he acquires her as his wife. By all means, explain that, man. Explain it, because to me it seems like you guys are sick fucking monsters. Especially the fact that none of you seem to find anything wrong with this. And this again, listen to how this is worded in your most sacred book. And if she is married, again, 3 years old but married, if one older gentleman already has sex, rapes her, nobody else is allowed to rape her, because then there would be comparison. And his micro penis might be a little bit bigger than your micro penis. Can't have that. And if she is married, a man other than her husband is liable for engaging in intercourse with her due to violation of the prohibition against intercourse with a married woman. Not with children, with a married woman. Now, let's take it to the extreme. If the girl is less than that age, younger than 3 years and 1 day, the status of intercourse with her is not that of intercourse in the all halalchic senses, where, she doesn't belong to her rapist yet. She's not old enough to belong to her rapist yet. Rather, it is like placing a finger into the eye. Just as in that case, the eye constricts, sheds tears, then returns to its original state. So too, in a girl younger than 3 years and 1 day old, the hymen returns to its original state. Totally makes sense, right? Totally makes sense. Now he's saying, it should be capital punishment. Isn't that what you guys say? It should be capital punishment? Yeah. That's what you say, right? That's how the Goyim speak. That's what the normal person says when you bring up raping children. They go, capital punishment. Yeah. Capital punishment. That's how we speak, right? See, he's trying really hard to sound like it's a titty, it's like a bag of sand, right? Yeah, guys, I've touched titties before. It's like a bag of sand. It's like a water balloon, right? He says it should be capital punishment, but then reiterates with animals. With animals, if you're having sex with animals, he has a problem with it. He doesn't have a problem with, raping of children before or less than 3 years in one day. Unless, of course, somebody else is already having sex with them or raping them. Then, of course, that's a violation there. I don't give a shit about the girls. Well, there you go. That is your average friar right there. I don't give a shit about the girls, he says. He cares about the animals. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for being this fucking stupid. Thank you for proving the point that you don't care about females. It's why you guys, again, you don't care about their sexual satisfaction. You don't care about their rights. The only female you care about is your mother. And in that case, it's probably because there's some weird shit going on there. But you just admitted it, right? You mean you could never hurt a fly because you're a weak piece of shit. You'll definitely live off of other people's suffering and be proud of it. You'll live off of genocide. You'll watch children be violated. You'll know that children are being violated, and you won't do anything about it. This is so interesting to hear this, right? You guys got to see this. People wonder why I always tag Ari Shafir in my shit, but listen to what this piece of shit says.
Because Jews be Jewing.
I say that all the time.
Yeah.
On this podcast.
And once they had these underground tunnels and this extra storage
Look at these
space,
guys' faces.
You don't know what it's like to live in New York. There's no room. And they're like, let's put some stuff there. Let's put old high chairs there. Let's put old fucking whatever we're going to put there. Let's put all the old codes, lost and found. Let's just make some room. Or let's do it in rainy days.
So wait. So he knows that the tunnels are just about storage, but then he's like, or it's this. Wait, or it's something else? Oh.
Go down there. We can have a second prayer service down there. So
he just said.
They saw the mattress down there. So
he just said, or.
Let's do it in rainy days. We can go down there. We can have a second prayer service down there.
So wait, on rainy days, you're gonna go through the building to have a prayer service in the secret tunnel? Why wouldn't you just do it in the building, you dumb piece of shit? Right? This is friars be friaring. This is their, idea of an intelligent response. Now watch this part.
They saw the mattress down there, so like sex trafficking.
Right.
Yeah. They always go to sex trafficking.
Because I think they want it to be sex trafficking.
They want it to be sex trafficking. And Jews don't really do that. They wouldn't go to the synagogue. If it was Jews, it'd be Epstein on his own.
Right.
But Jews generally hey, we're going to the cops about this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. They don't cover it up community-wise or transfer you to another community the way Catholics do.
Yeah. Right.
And nobody's going to call him out for that bullshit, right? Nobody's going to... Yeah, Jews don't do that. No, it's just Epstein off by himself. He did it all by himself. Nobody was a part of it. It wasn't the mega group that made Epstein that was made up of a bunch of fucking really rich friars. Nah. It's just Epstein off by himself. And Jews would go to the police. That's why you're always hearing about Jews getting in trouble for this kind of shit, because other Jews told on them, right? Think about all of those times you've heard about that, right? You guys have all heard that before, right? Me and my family are far more attractive than yours and happier, and my God has blessed me. Yeah, I know that super friar look like Ari is considered super handsome in this world. Boy, oh boy, does everybody like that troll look. Yep, that much more attractive. I can't imagine if I got a fucking, millions of dollars for free, then yeah, I bet my life would be a lot better too. You didn't accomplish anything. You've actually spent the majority of your life going to study one fucking book, and you don't even know what it says. You can't even fucking back it up. You're just stupid. I mean, it's shocking how stupid you guys are. Blasphemous as fuck.
Jews be Jews.
Sitting here denying the Mishnah Nidah like you do. You sick pieces of shit. What a dumbass.
Because Jews be Jewing.
I say that all the time.
That's why. Because it's what they do. They just, illegally build tunnels so they can store things. Yep, it's just for storage. Yeah, bloody soiled mattress. I don't know why you would call it sexual assault. But see, nobody ever says to him, well, what about the Mishnah Nidah? What about the whole 3 years in one? But it's not, again, I've been stuck on this 3 years in one, but it's not. That's just the point where they can be attained. Prior to that, rape the child all you want, the child doesn't belong to you yet. A 100% a girl before the age of the bat mitzvah. So at 12, that should be legal then. Yeah. Like, again, this is how stupid this guy is. He can't even respond like a normal person. He's trying to pretend like, well, no, you're right. It's bad if it's before 12. But after 12, it doesn't matter how old the man is. She's 12. She had her bat mitzvah, so that means she's yeah, what's the problem? I don't understand. I don't understand what the problem is. She's 12. It's not like it hurts her. We don't have anything that hurts. We have the micro penis, so what's the problem? They're so stupid. I can't believe they're dumb enough to come on here and say these things. Right? Like a 12-year-old is okay. Nobody thinks 12 is okay for adult men to be having sex with children. And so, funny thing is, he's denying what the Talmud says, right? He's denying the Talmud. And even more repulsive, the idea is sick with... He thinks having sex with animals is more disgusting than having sex with 3-year-old children. Than raping 3-year-old children. Again, this guy is responding as normally and naturally as he can right now. He's shooting from the hip. He's not actually going by the program. This is why they don't want them to go by go off the fucking script. Because they're so stupid, they say these things, and it's like, dude, you're fucking making the point for me. You think raping animals is more disgusting than 3-year-old children, than less than 3-year-old children. The idea that the hymen will just grow back. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You have to be like unprecedented. You have to be a monster on levels that normal people just don't understand. I mean, we just can't wrap our heads around that because this is just how sick you are. I mean, it really is. I'm grateful that you're here and doing this. Because you're so fucking stupid. All right? And he is adamant about, I would never touch an animal. That's the thing that bothers him. I just can't even, I couldn't script this any better. If I was trying to have one of my buddies Like, all right, you got to play the role of the piece of shit friar. Come in here and say, I would never think to say these things. I would have such a hard time playing that role and scripting that out. And this guy is just, oh, da 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 da, yeah. An animal is so much worse than a fucking child. Yeah. Oh, with a 3-year-old is absolutely sickening. Yeah. See? He doesn't know how to respond. Now that I've prompted him, he's like, oh yeah, it's absolutely sickening. Is that what I would say? Absolutely. Yeah, it's absolutely sickening. Right? He just can't fucking do it. He can't pull it off. And so you're acknowledging that your Mishnah Nida is a disgusting fucking piece of shit book then, right? That's what you're saying, that the Talmud is gross. The Talmud is wrong. Go on, say it. I'd love to see the dumb friar say it. Again, he keeps arguing that it's before 12. So if before 12 is just so wrong, after 12 is fine. 20, 30, 40-year-old man, it's fine, she's 12. As long as the man is friar, of course. If it was a Goyim, then that would be disgusting and wrong. And remember that in the book, it doesn't say anything about how disgusting it is that the man is having sex with the animal. He's saying that the animal just gets disqualified for sacrifice, and then the animal is stoned. It doesn't say anything about a punishment for the man. What I am saying is I absolutely disagree with many verses. I disagree with these verses. Well, you're not allowed to do that. Who the fuck are you to override Hashit and the rest of your... Like, who are you, you arrogant piece of shit, that you can say, oh, this verse is okay, but that verse isn't? It's not how it works. It's all or nothing, bud. And again, you're such a sick piece of shit, it doesn't even matter. I am so grateful that you are here providing this example of what I'm saying, because it would be a much harder argument to make if you weren't this stupid. Burn the book, hell no. Yeah, you would think that's what normal people would say. Eliminate it. It doesn't, if there's one part that's especially this awful, it negates all of the rest of it. Nothing else in that book matters. We'll just get a new book if that's what we really... If we really need a book to tell us what to think, then we'll get a new book. But the one that condones child rape, that encourages child rape, yeah, that's not good. Yeah. You're an atheist. Sure. Cool. We all should be. No, if you claim to be atheist and Jewish, well, then you're not. You're lying. That's what Ari Shafir does. He claims that he's an atheist friar. Well, friars aren't, that's a religious cult. It's not a race. It's a cult. These sick fucks, man. This guy thinks it's okay. He's literally keeps arguing that, oh, it's so disgusting when it's a 3-year-old or whatever. But if she's 12, then that's fine. If there's grass on the field, play ball, right? If she bleeds, she breeds. Gee, I wonder who came up with all those sayings. Wonder where those sayings came from. And all you dumb Christians out there, understand that your shit came from this. Mary was 12 years old when God impregnated her. She was betrothed to an 80 to 90-year-old Joseph, by most accounts. Some accounts say 50 or older, and then very few accounts say he was in his mid-20s. Any way you slice it, it's an adult man with a child. And she must have been in that 6-month window. See, I was trying to figure out how, if the bat mitzvah happens at 12, why she wasn't immediately attacked by. But it's because it's that 6-month time frame where she turns 12, she's inspected for her pubes, and then once she has that they find the pubes, and it's 6 months, they mark the calendar. 6 months from today, she can be deflowered. They're so sick. I have never had sex with intercourse, but my wife, we met 19 and 21. Yeah, because we believe you, right? We believe you. You and your fake month-old profile with no subscribers. We believe what the guy who thinks raping children is okay has to say. Yep, we got ya. What a piece of shit. Atheism is my belief. Friar is how I was born. How is that a contradiction? Because Jews are not a race. So you were not born Jewish. And I don't care what you say, if you say you're atheist or whatever. If you're not actively condemning this pedophile organization, you're a part of it. You're just as bad as those doing it. And you know it all happens. Nothing I'm saying is surprising. Doesn't matter what you believe is the truth. And now you are pushing false words in my mouth. Yep, that's what I'm doing. The beast is putting false words in your mouth. Yep. You wish I was putting shit in your mouth. You're a hostile bigot. Yes, I absolutely am a bigot against a fucking pedophile cult. Like, you keep saying things proving how stupid you are. I never have a problem acknowledging that when it comes to pedophilia, the pedophile cults, like nobody has a problem with me being anti-NAMBLA. Wouldn't matter if the person said, oh, I don't partake in any of it. I just belong to the organization that does. And I give them money. And I vote for them. And I attack anyone who speaks against them. But I don't partake in it. Who believes that? Nobody. Nobody. A girl who is 3 years and 1 day old, whose father arranged her betrothal, is betrothed through intercourse, as the halachic status of intercourse with her is that of intercourse in all halachic senses. And in a case where the childless husband of a girl 3 years and 1 day old dies, if his brother, the Yavam, engages in intercourse with her, he acquires her as his wife. And if she is married, a man other than her husband is liable for engaging with intercourse with her due to violation of the prohibition against intercourse with a married woman, not a child, a married woman. If the girl is less than 3 years than that age, younger than 3 years and 1 day, the status of intercourse with her is not of that of halachic, is not of that of intercourse in all halachic senses, meaning she does not belong to the rapist. She is not acquired by the rapist if she is younger than 3 years and 1 day. Rather, it's like placing a finger into the eye. Just as in that case, the eye constricts, sheds tears, and then returns to its original state, so too, in a girl younger than 3 years old and 1 day, the hymen returns to its original state. Seriously, go on, tell me about this. Tell me why all this is okay. How come none of you are actively out there campaigning against this horrendous shit? You just can't help but make up lies and push false anti-Semitic propaganda. No, nothing I say is anti-Semitic. I'm proudly anti-Semitism, but you guys are anti-Semitic. You're the one that are trying to kill and eliminate the Semitic people, the Palestinians, the Lebanese, the Syrians, the Iranians. Those are the Semitic people. The Egyptians. Those are all Semitic people. You guys are not Semitic. But what did I just say that was false propaganda? Did you guys not hear me read it? Right? Didn't I just read it to you? Go on Israel Hayom website and read Bottom of Darkness article. Exactly. The Bottom of Darkness article from April 23rd of 2025, so just last year, documents how soul correction ritual happens every 2 weeks after a Torah lesson. Every 2 weeks, adults stand in a giant circle naked, reading psalms and all that other shit, while the children are in a smaller circle in the inside naked, waiting to be raped. This is happening every 2 weeks. Right? Why aren't you trying to stop it? I think I am, you dumbass. I think I am. And if I saw somebody else doing a feed where they were trying to expose it, because the only way you can stop something like this is through exposure, I'm definitely not going to go on their feed and try to stop them or talk shit to them. Nobody's ever going to think, gee, I wonder if that guy's a pedophile. Look at all those crazy things he's saying. Look at how he's defending the pedophiles. Not something anybody will ever be able to say about me. Why not take it to court? Yeah, I'll take it to court. Hey, can I take Judaism to court? What is it? Should I go to Wapner? Will Wapner be the judge in my Judaism court? Or my Judaism lawsuit? I'm going to take Judaism to court. That's what was just suggested to me. If it's wrong, why not take it to court? That makes sense. You sound so smart. This is what this inbreeding does. What about all the non-friars then? Oh, here we go. What about all those people over there? Why are you only looking at us doing it? Why aren't you... So it's not okay if other people do it? And I should focus on those other people doing it, but not pay attention to you doing it? Why? Aren't there more than enough people out there? Alex Rosens out there hunting down pedos and exposing them? And then exposing how fucked up the system is when it comes to those pedos? Aren't there tons of people doing that already? Why do I need to do that too? Why can't I just do what I'm doing? Why are you trying to convince me to do something else instead of just living your own life? If what I'm saying is incorrect and wrong and all, what are you worried about? And I'm no threat, then what are you even doing here? Hour after hour, day after day. I don't matter, right? So why are you here crying, making it worse? Like if you were somehow bothering me or disrupting my shit or anything like that, I'd just block you, wouldn't I? As your God, I would just block you and then you wouldn't be allowed to be here anymore. Instead, I allow you to come on here and continue to make an absolute fool of yourself and your pedophile cult and expose everything. I couldn't ask for you to do better. You are still dumb. You believe this is uniquely a friar thing. See, again, you got to make up your own narratives in order to argue, right? Because I don't ever remember saying I think this is uniquely friar. Although having the scripture that requires it seems pretty uniquely friar. I don't know of any other scripture that talks about, 3 years in one day, intercourse is how you acquire her, and then the brother gets to have her. Nothing else seems to match that. So this is uniquely friar, but nice job. See, without you being here to say that, I wouldn't have said what I said in response. And what I say in response makes a lot more sense than what you say. Not to mention, I actually address what you say and debunk it, unlike what you do to me. They'll close all your bank accounts and ruin your life. That's what they do. We get Judge Judy. All right. Rape is rape. Again, why are you trying to take the focus off of the group that does it, consistently and according to their religious, bylaws? If it's a problem, then why are you upset that I'm exposing it? Because everyone race has people that do it. It's not unique to friars. So now you're acknowledging that you guys do this on a regular basis. Now that's what you're saying. But you're saying I should be talking about other people and not you. Gosh, that seems strange. You are just an anti-Semite. I am proud of my anti-Semitism. It is 100% without a doubt the thing that I am almost most proud of about myself. My children, obviously, I'm going to be proud of my children. They're my children. That's something I'm encouraged to be proud of. My anti-Semitism, I'm basically told I'm just not allowed to have that. And yet I'm good enough, I'm big enough, I'm proud enough to have it. When you do the right thing despite everybody telling you not to do it, that's a sense of pride that most people don't have. And I just appreciate you guys being this stupid. I never said it was uniquely Jews, although it is uniquely Jews. Yeah, I had never said that yet. But now that you mention it, it is. Do you not understand? Look at how desperate your stupidity makes you. Right? Your stupidity makes it seem like English must not be your first language, so you're having a hard time following along. And because you can't actually debunk anything I'm saying, you're just looking for every dumb little thing you can. But no, I hadn't yet said it was unique to you friars. Although, now that you mentioned it, because that dumbass did mention it, what we are talking about is absolutely unique to friars. Nobody else. Again, I've said this for a while. Why am I not allowed to hate you? Why shouldn't I hate you? You're genocidal, pedophile monsters who look at us like we are, what did he say, beasts? We are beasts. We are cattle. We are here to service you, as the fucking rabbi said earlier. You Goyim are just beasts who are here to service us. Why would I not hate you? Why shouldn't I hate you? Why shouldn't everyone hate you? You're disgusting, foul creatures. All you do is you bring the world nothing but violence and drama and sickness. Far fewer friars engage in this than your people, yeah. Again, doesn't really sound like it, does it? I can't think of any other group that I know of that has rape rituals take place every 2 weeks. And it's known. It's well known. But you have to look at this, again, the desperation in saying far fewer of us, well, you guys make up 2% of the United States population and 0.183% of the world's population. So from a numbers standpoint, there's probably a lot less of you that do it compared to But percentage of you wise that do it, I guarantee your numbers are higher than anybody else. It's written into your shit. You have to do it in order to attain your religious enlightenment. It's literally written into your shit. And you guys follow the rules. Yeah, we believe you. I believe something that a fake profile tells me. You guys believe? Oh, here we have one. The one guy that says he's an atheist. He's one of those guys that joined 12 years ago. 5 subscribers. He must be real. 12 years ago.
Is Joy's car there?
No. Arabs engage, blah, 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 blah. No, they don't. Arabs don't have it written into their bylaws. Again, you can keep trying to cry, but you can't provide any evidence. Show me a Mishnah Nida for other people. Show me the other group's religious text that says a girl who is 3 years and 1 day old, whose father arranged her betrothal, is betrothed through intercourse. That's not a word that would need to be interpreted or some shit. We know what intercourse is. As the halachik status of intercourse with her is that of intercourse in all halachik senses. And in a case where the childless husband of a girl 3 years and 1 day old dies, if his brother, the Yavam, engages in intercourse with her, he has acquired her as his wife. And if she is married, a man other than her husband is liable for engaging in intercourse with her due to violation of prohibition against intercourse with a married woman. 3-year-old. 3-year-old. If the girl is less than that age, younger than 3 years and 1 day, the status of intercourse with her is not that of intercourse in all halachik senses, meaning she doesn't belong to the rapist. Rather, it's like placing a finger in the eye. Just as in that case, the eye constricts, sheds tears, and then returns to its original state. So too, a girl younger than 3 years and 1 day old, the hymen returns to its original state. Then there's this little ditty. And if he engages in bestiality, he disqualifies the animal from being sacrificed upon the altar, and the animal is stoned due to his act. Show me another religious book that says anything even close. Yep, I'm an absolute nutcase. Yep. So I'm not real because I don't have any subscribers? Yeah. Yeah, it's a sign. It's a way to tell which one of you act.il friars.
Cool.
It's how you guys operate. Yeah. The idea that there are just all these random friars that just happen upon my feed, of all the feeds on all of the YouTubes, these guys just happened across my page. Gee, isn't that weird? Isn't that insanely coincidental? Especially when we've already talked about act.il sending them here. This is a group that gets points, badges, and leaderboard status for interfering. I'm proud British Zionist. Jews are not issue in the UK highest tag. Yeah, sure. Everyone hates you. Everyone hates you. There are plenty of videos out of the UK that show a bunch of pieces of shit. A bunch of pieces of shit getting exposed by Goyim. Tommy Robinson is one of those pieces of shit that's been exposed. What will you do if your child is dating a Jew? He won't. He won't. Would never happen. One, because, that's not how it works. But two, he's not, he's very, my children are very much against pedophilia. And if you're associated with pedophilia even slightly, my children are going to say something to you. If I say free Palestine, does that get me some points? If I say free Palestine? I've told you guys forever, the Palestine thing is the distraction. And he's proving that right now, right? He's like, well, shit, these Goyim are seasoned with genocide. And as bad as it is, obviously they don't really do anything about it, right? So what's worse than genocide is the pedophilia, but genocide is fucking right there, like right below it. So if they can get you to focus on the genocide that you're already pre-programmed with, then it's gonna deflect. It's gonna prevent you from looking at, the true cause of the problem. How do you have an entire population that lives off of genocide? That is the most hated, disgusting, 3 years and 1 day fucking bestiality people in the world. How do you have that exists? Well, it comes through the MK Ultra rape ritual bullshit that's done to the majority of the children. Right. Now they're flying fucking... I knew he was going to say the Yisrael Chai thing. That's what... Yisrael Chai. They sound so fucking stupid. Again, look at how they're trying to steer the conversation away from the child rape. Because they know that the child rape will be their downfall. Right? They know it. Yeah, these friars fund white supremacists like Tommy Robinson. Right. As long as he fucking... At the end of the day, when asked about Zionism or whatever, he says the right thing. That's what he does. Tommy Robinson, when Tommy Robinson first hit, the first time I had heard of him, it was that he had gotten arrested for stepping off the side of the road or stepping on the sidewalk when he was told not to. And all he was trying to do was expose the Muslim grooming gangs. And I was like, if you're concerned with the Muslim grooming gangs, and not focused on what the royal family does, you're a fucking plant. These friars are just sick. These are sick shit, like sick pieces of shit. Why do you think they don't go out there and brag about this shit? Why do you think they're all like being blasphemous right now? They're actually being blasphemous and talking bad against their own thing. While also being like, well, as long as she's 12. Like, they're just monsters. And the more people understand that, like, we're eliminating monsters. Don't feel bad. Be proud. Does anybody feel bad about, seeing a pedophile get destroyed? Oh, I just lost a like. Somebody doesn't like what I just said. Ooh. Ooh. Censored to bejesus and back. Do you know how many shares this video actually has? Tons. Tons. It's been shared tons of times. There are tons of people that are fucking looking for it right now and can't seem to find it because it just won't show up for them. We don't go out and brag because it doesn't exist. No, it does. Do you need me to read it to you again? Yeah. People need to understand that Naomi Elkins is the smoking gun. Naomi Elkins is... story is just horrendous. It's horrendous. And they covered it up. Again, you have a really, really bad story, and instead of exposing the worst story, they give you a really bad story. So instead of exposing that Naomi Elkin's children probably died due to rape and torture in a bottom of darkness-esque soul correction ritual gone wrong, and to cover it up, they put the children in the bathtubs, washing everything away, waterlogging the body to destroy, the evidence.
Well, I'm parked down with that.
Like, they're fucking gross, man.
Just try to tune them out.
The Schneerson, yeah, Schneerson is a piece of shit. Fuck yeah, he was. Right? But the fact that Naomi Elkins supposedly, it said she stabbed her 22-month-old in the chest and in the stomach, and then drowned it in one of their bathtubs. The 3-year-old saw what was happening, tried to hide from the mother, who found her, grabbed her, put her in the bathtub, kneeled on her chest, and filled the bathtub till the child drowned. And you can watch the arrest footage that makes no sense, because there are like 30 different Penguin Jewish men running around in and out of the crime scene like it's nothing. Hatzola had already destroyed the crime scene, pulling the children out, blah, 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 blah. They blur out the house so you can't see anything, but you can hear the cops saying,
You can be very subtle.
clearly there was a cleanup job here. Somebody mopped the entire floor. There's a door that's in their place that's locked from the other side, and they don't want to see who's on the other side, but the husband's missing. He supposedly went on a work trip the day before. He doesn't work. And so because they gave us this horrendous story of this mother killing her 2 children, nobody thought, like, wait, let's look deeper. Maybe that's just the cover-up. Maybe this is much worse than people realize. And because they control the system, like, there was nothing. No interviews. Nobody tried to do anything. And then she ended up being given... She was found not guilty by reason of insanity, and given 75 years per child in a mental institution, that if she does prove herself to no longer be a danger to herself or the community, she will be released.
I've never heard of that. What kind of
Turns out she never spent any time in prison, because she was involved in real estate deals after the fact, after she was supposedly arrested and supposed to be in the mental facility. She was out doing real estate deals.
expensive? Yeah.
You would think Jewish people all over the country would be outraged at this story and trying to do whatever they could to expose the truth
Yeah.
to protect the Jewish children.
Fucking expensive now. It's stupid.
But they don't. They know that if this story were to actually get exposed, get investigated properly, it would show, it would just lead to their downfall. It would show you what's happening all over Lakewood, New Jersey, where Naomi Elkins just happened to be from. Curious Joel, Huntington Woods, wherever the fuck your neighborhood is in the United States, you have friar neighborhoods near you. You know it because you'll go driving and all of a sudden you'll see penguins walking around.
Where is Premier? I'm picturing...
Right? Like this is just disgusting.
Is it where Olga's is?
This is where the line must be drawn. Fuck Rabbi Schneerson. He's a piece of shit pedo just like the rest of you.
Closer to Wixom.
He was actually charged, or he was actually like I don't know if he was charged, but he was accused of this shit numerous times.
But is it in the
And you have to ask yourself, like, how does some regular guy become the leader of some sort of an offshoot cult of the cult.
Yeah.
Like these are just horrible monsters. And everything they do proves it. Let me just read this again. A girl who is 3 years and 1 day old, whose father arranged her betrothal, is betrothed through intercourse, as the halalchic status of intercourse with her is that of intercourse in all halalchic senses. And in a case where the childless husband of a girl 3 years and 1 day old dies, if his brother, the Yavam, engages in intercourse with her, he acquires her as his wife. And if she is married, a man other than her husband is liable for engaging in intercourse with her due to violation of the prohibition against intercourse with a married woman. And if the girl is less than that age, younger than 3 years and 1 day, the status of intercourse with her is not of that of halalchic, of all halalchic senses, not that of intercourse in all halalchic senses, meaning she doesn't belong to her rapist yet. She has to be 3 years old before she can belong to her rapist. Rather, it is like placing a finger into the eye. Just as in that case, the eye constricts, sheds tears, and then returns to its original state. So too, in a girl younger than 3 years old and 1 day, the hymen returns to its original state. Does anybody actually believe that? Does anybody believe that the hymen can grow back?
GEESE mom, the one that,
Right?
yeah, she got back.
How stupid do you have to be to say shit like that?
But,
How inbred fucking stupid do you have to be to say it and or believe it? And yet this is a commandment of theirs. This is a what's it called? I can't think of the word right now. A mitzvah. This is a mitzvah of theirs. How funny is it to watch the friars arguing in the comment section? No. This is the way. No, that's the way. No, this is the way. Neither one wants to address what I'm reading, though, do they? And if he engages in bestiality, he disqualifies the animal from being sacrificed upon the altar, and the animal is stoned due to his act. Look at him crying. You're the wrong one. You're the dingus because you shut the fuck up, both of you pieces of shit. Funny how they have so much to say regarding Rabbi Schneerson, but nothing to say when it comes to raping 3-year-old children. And I can't say nothing. Finally, the one guy said something about it. And when he said it, he tried his best to sound sincere, but nobody would believe what he said. Well, I am absolutely against this, and I think it deserves capital punishment with the animals. Because, the sex with animals is way worse than raping children, is literally what this guy said. And then tried to pretend like, well, no, I do have a problem with it as long as it's happening before the bat mitzvah. Before 12 years old, that's wrong. But once a girl is 12, that's fine. 30, 40-year-old, doesn't matter. Look at these fucking morons. No, my children go to the yeshiva. These guys are so fucking dumb. Each and every last one of them. They're disgusting. And until you find one that is actually out there going, hey, at the very least, some shit needs to change. But really, any fucking cult that its bylaws, multiple bylaws require pedophilia, nothing about that cult is true or real or good. Get the fucking rid of it. It's disgusting. And if you defend the cult that pushes those things, you're just as bad. What's up, dude? I was wondering where you were. I was going to send you a message. You are nothing more than an anti-Semitic criminal fueled by hatred and lies. Please tell me which part is the lie. Still waiting for that. You keep saying that, but then you don't back it up with anything. You really should learn about evidence. You really should learn about, like, you know, the proper way of arguing and doing all that.
Joy just went to the bank, and so I'm gonna get ready to Jess was already called me twice.
The only thing these doofuses do is provide evidence for anything other than how sick they are. Hey. It's just fucking crazy.
He comes
Hi.
and says good morning to both of
Hi,
us.
boo. Hey, buddy boy, what you doing?
Yes, he did.
Yes, you falsely demonize the Friar people and spread hatred. Fortunately, most are smart enough to dismiss your insane misinformation. Which part is misinformation and lies? I'm demonizing you. Guess what? You can't demonize somebody that's doing the right thing.
Oh, yeah.
You can't demonize me.
Well,
I never will ever say, stop demonizing me. Stop telling the truth about me. That demonizes me. If you open up the books on Israel, you demonize Israel. Do you realize how stupid? No, you don't. Just like you don't think raping children is wrong, you don't realize how stupid you are.
Whereas this one's learning.
It's fucking crazy, man. Opposite there. It's just shocking that people can be so stupid. And I guess again, this is their tactic. Whenever you see them sort of engaged with somebody, they go, "Well, you're just spreading false information. You're lying." And you go, "Okay, well, tell me. Come on, please. What am I lying about? By reading the Mishnah Nida, what am I lying about?" You know?
She grew up on a...
Elaborate. You're so high IQ and I'm so stupid. You're so much better than me. I shouldn't be able to demonize you. I shouldn't be able to make you look like such a disgusting pedophile, and yet consistently I do. Well, I mean, I don't even really do it. You do it yourself, but I just point it out. Take another hit, junkie. Yes, you know me. Fucking weed junkies. Oh, you're so bad. What gets me is they talk a lot of shit, but come back every day. Every day. This is for months. And when they finally like get one profile gets outused or what, then they make another fake profile. If they end up getting themselves blocked, they just make another profile because they hate me so much. I hate you so much. Stop telling the truth about us. It's proof of what guy says. Exactly. It's proof. Everything is proof. If I'm wrong about anything, all they have to do is point it out. It's really simple. Just point it out. Don't be a coward. You're just lying and all that other bullshit. Which part am I lying about? You block your haters? Yeah, clearly. Clearly, that's what it is. Funny again how you can respond to certain shit, but you have nothing to say about the Mishnah Nida. Why aren't you acknowledging what's being said in other cases? Seems like more desperation from you, but, you know. Again, I don't expect you to be smart enough to realize that's what you're doing. You know, if pedophiles truly realized like what they're doing and, you know, how awful they were, like a lot of them will pretend like, oh, it's bad. I know, I feel so bad. If you actually knew that you were capable of hurting children, you just kill yourself. You would understand that nothing you bring to the world is even close to mattering or as effective, you know, it affects as much as you raping children. If you would do anything to a child in that regard, just fucking kill yourself. Religious context contains awful things. It's not news. Yeah, okay. You know, that's it then, right? We should just ignore it because it's not like religious context is used to justify genocide right now, right? It's not like religious context is used to justify all these fucking Lakewood people, Curious Joel people living in $1 million houses that are considered Section 8 and that get paid for through other means. They don't work. They don't do anything with their 20 fucking children and shit that they end up selling off because it's all about keeping the fucking rituals going. I don't even hate you. I simply hope God helps you with the mental illness. Again, so instead of explaining your claims and elaborating and showing that you're not the fucking dumb piece of shit that I keep saying you are, now you're just going to jump to some other fake-ass righteous bullshit? I hope God cures you of your mental illness where you think having sex with children is wrong. As long as they're 12 years old. Like, this is how sick this piece of shit is. I don't even hate you. I absolutely hate you. I hate every fucking disgusting ounce of you. I am so proud to hate you, I can't even put it into words. But I hate you so much that I would never ever spend time on you. I would never ever go to your live feeds. I would never, like, nothing. You're here because I allow you to be here because you're a great example. But outside of you know, rounding you up and getting you out of here, well, I don't even think it's fair. Because initially it was like, we got to round them up and get them the fuck out of here, send them to the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, and let them live their shit out. But who's going to protect the Jewish children then? As a society, we should be protecting the Jewish children. You should feel bad for people in Lakewood who are cult members and are taught it's okay to leech off society. Why should I feel bad for them? Everything their entire existence is based off of people feeling bad for them. I don't feel bad for pedophiles. There's a part of me that understands that all of the adults were at one point children being raped and tortured as well. But it has to stop. So how do you stop it? You know, you give them the option, like, put the shit down and never talk about it again, get rid of it. Or you gotta go. It's that simple. Bibi quoted the Almec verse from the 1 Samuel to justify the genocide in Gaza. Yeah? Bibi's an absolute monster piece of shit. The entire idea of Israel's existence is a false narrative. You know, Israel should not exist at all. That was somebody else's place. And they took it violently. Oh, it was promised by God in the book you wrote. Gotcha. Yeah, your fake ass bullshit Bible. Gotcha. Who gives a fuck? You are full of hatred. Yes, I hate you. Like, why do you keep saying it like it's an insult? I hate pedophiles. I hate genocide. I hate it with every fiber of my being. So you keep pointing it out like it's like, you know, you have hair on your head. Like, yeah, no shit, dumbass. You are also an anti-Semitic, criminally insane. Oh, yes. Now we go back to mental issues. It's a psychosis, a pathological disorder, and an irrational phobia if you don't accept their supremacy. Yeah. And again, he can't even use words correctly because I'm not anti-Semitic. I am proudly very pro-Semitic. And the Palestinian people, the Lebanese people, the Syrian people, the Iranian people, all of the Semitic people absolutely deserve to live their lives without your cancer, your anti-Semitic cancer, ruining those lives. Raping the children. Like, if they can rape their own children, what won't they do to other people? Right? Like, it's just so obvious. They're just so obviously the worst. And the fact that they can't even stay on topic, they can't even talk about one thing in particular without jumping from crybaby to crybaby, it just shows you how pathetic they are. Right, I didn't even notice that, but yeah. No, it's, wait, ANTISEMITI. Yeah, it's E. But the funny thing is they've removed the hyphen. So in 2020, legislation was passed somehow. I don't know how how the changing of the spelling of a word works. But legislation was had that they wanted to change the spelling of anti-Semitism from ANTI hyphen capital SEMITISM to ANTISEMITISM, all one word, all lowercase. And that's the way, you know, with the hyphen is how it had been spelled since the 1880s when it was initially coined. And it was initially coined to oppose Semitism definition. Merriam-Webster. Merriam-Webster.com. Semitism page. See? Number 1A, Semitic character qualities. Number 1B, Semitic a characteristic feature of a Semitic language occurring in another language. Number 2, policy or predisposition favorable to friars. Okay. Semitism. Policy or predisposition favorable to friars. Policy is the rules and regulations. Predisposition is genetic programming. If your mom's family all has cancer, you are predisposed to having cancer. No matter how clean of a life you live, no drugs, no smoking, no drinking, no nothing, you still are very likely to get cancer because you have a predisposition to it. It's genetic programming. Semitism is demanding that the rules and regulations and the genetic programming is favorable to them over everyone else. And so, and that word has been around for a very long time. Anti-Semitism was initially coined to oppose that, saying, why should we allow these fucking friars, in Germany, of course, why should we allow these friars to live off of us? That's what World War I was about. We always hear about World War II and how we all learned that World War II was why Israel was established as sort of a payment for what happened and just a bunch of fake bullshit. They've been invading Palestine since the 1880s. About 10,000 invaders per year. But, that whole World War II narrative is it's the same World One as World War I. World War I was basically the same thing. Trying to remove the friars from their position of power. Most people don't know about the Jewish Autonomous Oblast established in 1928 in Russia to give them their own land. That's what they wanted so bad. It wasn't about killing the Palestinians and then having a little farm that they could farm the next 75 years anytime they wanted to do their rituals. If you want to have a hamburger festival every year, you don't kill all of your cattle in one go. Especially if you have hamburger festivals every month or so. No, you kill just enough cow to fill your hamburger needs. Knowing that you need to keep that going so you can keep farming hamburgers. That's why they didn't just destroy Palestine, take Palestine from the beginning. Because they needed that little farm. Now they're using Lebanon. The last day of Passover this year was the 100 strikes in 10 minutes in Lebanon. Out of the blue. War crime all the way around. Every year on Passover, they kill a whole bunch of people. It's what they do. They prefer killing Christians. Lebanon's full of Christians. It's what they do. Right? The initial thing with Semitism was anti-Semitism has always been opposing friar supremacy. That's what Semitism is friar supremacy. And that's what anti-Semitism is. So absolutely, next time somebody accuses you of anti-Semitism, engage, embrace, be proud of it. Explain it to them. Say, I'm definitely not anti-Semitic. If they say anti-Semitic, get mad. Hey, motherfucker, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm not a friar. I believe that Palestinian people and Lebanese people and all that, they have a right to exist. I'm proud of my anti-Semitism. Always will be. I don't believe anybody deserves policy or predisposition over anybody else. But especially not a pedophile, disgusting cult. That's a whole different thing. It's not like these guys take all of their favor and use it to its fullest and make the world a better place with it. They cause literally all the fucking problems in the world. Mel Gibson was right. Why do you think they blackballed him? Right? He was right. How did that even get out? Mel Gibson gets arrested and the arrest footage is leaked immediately. Gee, how'd that happen? Same thing with Rodney King. Same thing with all of it. How does it all happen? Because it's all staged bullshit. Mel Gibson had been acting for a long time. He probably wanted to take a few years off to just enjoy his money and do his thing. So he, just like David Silver plays a little role. Oh, I don't want you dating black people and blah blah. They just play a role before they're allowed to go off and do their thing. And then when they decide to come back, just like Mel Gibson, he's back to being Mel. If he wanted to act, he would. But he probably fucking hated it. He probably hated working for these friars. I was watching the makings of The Godfather yesterday or today. And it's all about having to kiss all the friar ass. Friar studio heads, friar this, friar that. They're just awful. They're just awful monsters. Anyway, you have yourself a great fucking day. Go get all your links in the description, especially get your free download, www.the-bilderberg-group.com. It's free to download. Just click download. When they ask how much you want to pay, you put 0, and it's free. Because I'm a friar and all. Go watch Hollywoodism, the second link in the description. It's a link to a video on YouTube. Oh, by the way, when you click on the website, they're going to do everything they can to scare you. Watch this. This is fucking crazy. www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com. I've gone to this website on this phone every single day for fucking years. First, I get that. Your connection is not private. Attackers might be trying to steal your information from www.the-bilderberg. For example, passwords, messages, or credit cards. Learn more. Turn on enhanced protection to get Chrome's highest level of security. So what are my options? My options are back to safety or advanced. What the fuck does that mean? Nothing tells me to move forward. It says advanced, not advanced. So I'm going to click on advanced. Now it says another one. This server could not prove that it is www.the-bilderberg-group.com. Its security certificate is not trusted by your device's operating system. This may cause a misconfiguration or an attacker intercepting your connection. Now it says, proceed to www.the-bilderberg-group.com, but it's unsafe. Don't click on it. Have any of you ever seen that level of security before trying to go to somebody's website? I've literally never seen that before, ever. You know, going to anybody else's website. Never. And if you do get that notification, and you don't fucking, and you don't, like, and you click on that, you're fucking stupid, right? Nobody should click on that shit if they get those kind of warnings. That's scary. Yeah, nobody's trying to steal your shit. They definitely listen to the songs. I didn't see that yet. Yeah. Have you ever seen that before anywhere else? The system is, like, this is how close we're getting. Right? They know they have to do these really desperate things to keep us from succeeding at this point. The people that have been saying it for longer than anybody else. And better than anybody else. By all means, if you can explain to me why that's how that works, and if that's just totally normal, I'm all for it. I'd love to hear it. But until you show me somebody else, not for a normal website, no, right. A website that phone has been to a gazillion times already. This just started happening a couple days ago. What do you think that's about? Our certificate's not due for renewal for like another 6 months or some shit. So what do you think is happening? If that's not the system desperately trying to shut us down, I don't know what is. I don't know what else you call that shit. Stop. It's just like so many other things that are associated with me. If somebody told you about these things, you wouldn't believe them because they just sound so far-fetched and you've never heard anybody else talk about it. I mean, why wouldn't they do this shit to Alex Jones? Why don't they do this shit to Ian Carroll? Why don't they do this shit to Stu Peters and Nick Fuentes? Those guys are worse than you are. Exactly. So why don't they do that to those guys? Why does so much shit happen to me? Especially considering I'm ugly, I'm wrong, I'm stupid, I'm blah, blah, and blah, blah. Why do they put so much effort into me? I don't know anybody else that's as prolific as I am as far as writing. I'm talking to Charles about it right now. Anyway, like I say, it's either you realize of all the millions of websites and millions of content creators out there, for you to see something unique on anybody's thing, it's something you should pay attention to. And not only is my presentation and everything unique, but the response that I get, the interference I get is unique. That should tell you something. That should wake you up. They threw me off your channel for saying Trump shootings were bullshit. Yeah, they were. Of course, especially the first one. Absolute bullshit. Your ear doesn't grow back, just like a fucking hymen. Jesus Christ. Anyway, have yourselves a great day. Pedophiles, kill yourself.